Hello, everybody. Thank you for all tuning in. Appreciate you all being here. Give me a second as I just want to make sure things are working right, and we'll get started. Let's see here. How are you doing today, y'all? Appreciate y'all being here early, as this game obviously just ended. I see you, Razi. I'll get to your comment in just a second here. Let's see. I think the music's too loud. Maybe it's just my end. Should be okay. All right, we're all set to go. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all being here. Bulls lost this one. I think this was kind of like a 50-50 game to kind of see where everyone was kind of at for this one. And Giannis is obviously in mid-season form, so he has the ability to do exactly what he did tonight, which is he just straight up dominated the Bulls. So yeah, Bulls had some serious issues tonight, and I don't really think it was offense. I think it was really just defense. I know the offense in the fourth quarter kind of died, but if I really had to make a whole thing, like, it's just the defensive effort for this team is very questionable. It's very frustrating. And again, I just want to repeat, I did not expect this team to come in and be a good team defensively. I knew this team was gonna be bad defensively, but the stuff that we're seeing, I think, is just it's a little too far in terms of like how I want to see this team work defensively, and it's nowhere, it's too far away from what I think needs to happen. I don't need this team to be good defensively. I just need this team just to give better effort. Tonight though, I against Giannis specifically, if Giannis is destroying you like he did tonight, I'm not going to be like as critical over these guys. I think that there's some leeway that needs to be given, because no one on this team, like a lot of other teams though, no one on this team can guard Giannis, but the Bulls really do lack height and size. So because of that, it makes this a lot harder. It's already hard to guard Giannis, even if you have the best defenders in the world with the correct height and size. But when you don't have that, it honestly looks like Giannis is playing on a Nerf hoop. So I'm gonna give some guys, like, I'm not gonna be as critical about that. I actually think tonight that there should have been a better, like just a different coaching game plan defensively. This is actually one of those times where I'm gonna be pretty critical of Donovan, because I think that defensively there needed to be a major switch. The Bulls made a major switch at halftime, but then I think they didn't follow through with the plan. So whether it's on Donovan or like on the players, I don't really fully know, but I think there needed to be a different plan tonight against Giannis, and I will blame Billy for that. Other than that though, I think this is kind of what I expected to see tonight. Bucks dominate the paint, Bulls dominate the 3-point line, or I guess won the 3-point battle. Bad defense kind of on both ends, honestly. I know that the Bulls only got 106 points, but the Bucks defense wasn't really doing anything spectacular, honestly. Let's be real. They gave up 90 points in the first 3 quarters. So I think that tonight this is kind of where I more expected to see from this team, from as like more so against like the Bulls against the Bucks. Like, I thought that the first matchup, like, this is kind of what I more expected to see, and the Bucks clearly just were not ready to play in that first matchup. So Bulls are now 1-1 obviously against the Bucks this year. What's more interesting though, and I'm waiting for this to update, but the biggest thing right now is, if my math is correct, the Bulls are about to go actually below Milwaukee here. Bulls should be now 6-10. The Bucks are now 6-9, and because of that, the Bulls are actually now below Milwaukee in the standings. So if you're a person like me who does want to keep the pick, I think this is a pretty decent sign for keeping the pick. And I'm not here to be like, hey, we need a tank. I think tanking is full out tanking is bad. I'm never a person that's gonna be like, yeah, we need to full out go 0-82, lose all 82 games, and try to keep the pick and everything. I'm not saying we need to, I don't think we need to go 0-82. I'm just like, I would like to keep the pick. I think it would be a good decision to keep the pick. And right now, for a lot of people that were questioning, like, can the Bucks get past the Bulls? Well, we're back to the point now. The Bucks will be past the Bulls after things update here. So, yeah, I'll be interested just to see how Milwaukee does. I think they have some severe, bad defensive problems. And I don't know how Lillard looks at the moment. I think Lillard kind of looks off, and I know he's just recovered from a concussion. So it'll be interesting to see if the Bucks can kind of stay, or keep climbing their way up here. But if my math is right, the Bucks have officially passed the Bulls in standings tonight. So even in a year where the Eastern Conference is really bad, the Bulls are still pretty low on the low in the standings. So that's what bad defense gets you. So this game, though, overall, I think we saw a couple things that was just kind of an indicament of what the Bulls are. We'll talk about Patrick Williams, not and his whole situation. I think this is a game where you did miss P. Will. Not necessarily saying that he's going to stop Giannis, just that you have another body just to put on Giannis. We'll talk about Lonzo Ball as well. Bulls could have easily used Lonzo in this game too. And then we saw Zach really have a really nice game to keep the Bulls in it. 20-point first half. He was honestly the only reason why it wasn't a blowout in the first half. So props for him to keeping the Bulls in it. Bulls, I think, played with some good pace. They shot the threes pretty decently well. 17 of 45 is solid. It's not, obviously like lights out shooting, but it's solid. I think the offense overall, I know the fourth quarter happened and it was a bit of a struggle, but I think the offense overall was really good throughout most of the game. Forget about the fourth quarter. But yeah, I think the offense was really nice. I think the ball was moving really well. 14 turnovers is a better sign from the Bulls overall. 16 is obviously their number currently, or what they're averaging. So anytime you can get below 16, it's good. 25 assists on top of that. So I think it's overall it's solid. The defense, obviously, it's just been a problem all season long. Again, I'm not going to be as critical tonight because it is against Giannis, and the Bulls just, hell, try to guard Giannis with anybody. But especially when you don't have any size, it's not shocking to me that the Bulls really had their issues tonight. But we'll talk about it a little bit more in depth as we get into some of the film breakdown stuff tonight. Zach kept them in the game. I think Dalen Terry deserves a humongous shout out because Terry came in, he hit some key threes and key moments. I also think Terry was doing a really decent job of guarding Lillard. I think Terry, honestly, against point guards is a very good decision defensively. I think that's a very solid decision to put Terry on point guards. I do question Terry still when it comes to some guys his height, like 6'7", 6'8", because he is pretty thin still. But if you put Terry on a point guard or a pretty big ball handler, I think it's a really good decision. I like that decision a lot. You can tell that Lillard was being annoyed by Terry. Can Terry guard Giannis? No one can. But I would also just not put Terry on Giannis at the end of the day. But I think Terry did really, really well tonight. He had that Rondo move today that I think is honestly the best move I've seen from Dalen Terry in his entire career. So if he can master that, then maybe he has a way of getting layups really easily. So that'd be really cool to see. I do think that Torrey Craig did a good job of filling in tonight. I don't really know why he has to start suddenly, though. Craig suddenly goes from out of the rotation to being a starter and playing 28 minutes tonight. He did get injured at the end there, so I hope he's all right. I don't know why Torrey Craig started tonight. I don't really understand it. I understand that the Bulls are trying to be competitive. I disagree with that decision, but I don't really know why, Julian Phillips I'm fine with Buzelis not starting. I personally am fine with that, but I don't understand why Torrey Craig goes from out of the rotation to being a 28-minute starter. And he's going to close the game, honestly. So I don't understand Billy's decision sometimes, but that happened. He played well, so props to him. I hope he's doing okay after the injury. I think Vooch and White just missed some shots tonight that we usually see them make. Vooch missed a lot of inside shots that he usually drains. Or at least for this season, I should say. We've seen him miss it in his career, but this season has been the anomaly in terms of him making those inside shots. So he just missed a lot tonight. Kobe just seemed to have an off night, but he's also dealing with that knee issue. So Individually, not exactly the greatest games, but it wasn't like poor or anything. I think Io was all right off the bench. Phillips, I think, was pretty good in his limited minutes. I know he had to guard Giannis, but it's rough. And Buzelis only playing, 2 minutes in the first half, and then getting garbage time was pretty stupid. So I'm critical of Donovan tonight for what some of his decisions, but only so much you can do. Now, Josh Giddey, man, I just I don't know, bro. I'm running out of things to try to protect him with. Like, I've been already pretty critical of him. His role is already diminished. He's not closing games. He looks lost off ball on offense. His effectiveness on the court is very low. I just find it funny because the people that keep saying that Zach LaVine, who kept the Bulls in the game in the first half, keep calling Zach as the least effective player in the world, yet they're Josh Giddey supporters. They're saying that Josh Giddey is a very impactful player even when he isn't scoring, which I'm just like, bro, I don't know what you're looking at. Josh Giddey on both ends of the floor has been awful. Just another horrible game from Josh tonight. I mean, we're getting to the point now that we're like, okay, 16 games in now, like we gotta see something soon, and it's not coming. So I'll be interested to see, man. I'll be really interested to see what's gonna happen with Giddey moving forward. All right, Rozzy, I appreciate you being here early. Let's see. I'll leave my words on Giddey. He's not going to work out here, but I've been an avid supporter daily. He's been improving almost every game, which is an encouraging sign. So first and foremost, I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people right now are eating their Josh Giddey words. It's specifically if they're supportive of him. This is kind of the reason why I was scared of the trade, and we're seeing it pretty early on. So I appreciate you kind of just admitting to it. And everyone has the right to do that. In terms of Dalen, I don't necessarily think that he's getting better every single game, but I will admit that he has looked better this season overall. His handles look a lot better. His decision-making also looks better. I'm still questioning his ability to finish at the rim at the moment, but if he can hit that three-point shot, then I don't really even care. The fact that he went 2 for 2 on threes tonight, both catch-and-shoot situations, wide open, and he drained both is great. So that's a great sign, and I hope that continues. His finishing at the rim, I think, is still suspect, but if he found that like Rondo move, that's a legit move, man. Like, I think that's a legitimate move, and I hope that he can kind of maybe master that, because I did not know that he had the ability to like palm the ball like that. So I'm hoping that if he can master that, then he can maybe get some more layups out of it, because I do think his finishing is still a little bit suspect, but I do appreciate his defensive effort, especially against smaller guards, has been really effective this year. And if the three ball's going down, which it's been better this year, obviously compared to last year's, so or last previous season. So I'm hoping that continues. And so yeah, nice shot from Terry tonight overall. I'm hoping, again, it's kind of just what I say about a lot of the young players. It's like, it's a nice game. It's one nice game. I'm hoping it could just continues, because I can't just see this, one nice game and then the next game it's like zeros, because we've seen that from Terry. So just like with Pat, I say, like, okay, nice game, give me 2 games in a row. After that, give me 5. It's harder off the bench. I'm aware of that. So I just need to see Terry's defensive effort just stay up high, even if he's not shooting it well. That was very good defensively from him. So keep that up. He was supposed to make me pull my hair out. There have been times, obviously, this year when the Bulls give up 140 points, I'm losing my mind. This wasn't too bad tonight, but I'm gonna show some things where I'm hypercritical of Donovan tonight. Even half court sets, they look like they're trying to play fast, which I think is hurting them. Bulls specifically is what you're saying, Rozzy. I don't think that's actually hurting them. I think that's actually good. If they're playing faster at any point, whether it's half court, whether it's in transition, I think that's a good decision. There weren't too many turnovers tonight, if that's what you're wondering. Like 14 is like, it's like mid ground. And I think that's just something you just have to live with. Like, if you're gonna play fast, you just have to live with the turnovers, and they just can't be like unforced. And we saw some unforced tonight, and that needs to go away. But either way, though, I do like the way that they're playing. Whether they're trying to push them when they're on the defensive end. Sorry, that was a dumb way to phrase it. What do you mean trying to push them? Like, but the Bulls are trying to shove them, or are the Bulls trying to speed them up on when they're playing defense? Sorry, I'm so confused with what you're trying to tell me. Sorry. Looks like they're not in the right places ever defensively, and they look all out of sorts. I think. Okay, so we'll talk about this. So yeah, they're missing rotations for sure. I'm not shocked at that. I don't necessarily think that they're playing faster defensively, if that's what you're saying. I think that the defense is just bad. I think guys are lacking awareness. I think it's even just from even guys that we think are good defensively that they're not playing well defensively. You know, I talked about with P. Will, like P. Will's a guy that we think is supposed to be good defensively, and he hasn't exactly like been great. And there are moments even with like guys like Ayo Dosunmu and Dalen Terry where it's like they don't really look too great on the defensive end throughout the season. I think Terry tonight looked really solid, but you can argue that Ayo didn't look good defensively tonight. And I think the biggest problem that you're seeing is that the point of attack defense for the Bulls is significantly worse, and this is where Alex Caruso was so key. So when I talk about point of attack defense, we're talking about the guy who's guarding the ball handler. So the guy that needs to navigate around the screens, the guy that's guarding isolations, etc. It all starts there. Like it literally your defense is on a string, but it all starts there. That's basically like your point of attack, aka like, you know, your kind of like the tip of the spear defense is kind of everything. And the Bulls' point of attack defense this year has just been so poor that it makes everything else look worse. This is where Caruso was so valuable. Like when Caruso may not exactly stay in front of a guy, but if he forces that his guy to go one way, then the defense can, you know, react off of it. But when the point of attack defense is so poor that you don't exactly know where guys are going, and it just seems like guys don't know when to switch and when not to switch, it's gonna make everybody else look horrible. Rotations look off, guys look like they're not in the right spots. Guys are pointing at each other. Like that's what's gonna happen. We'll talk about some plays that I really think are a big indicator of it, and it just to me shows you that one, it's that this team is just not built defensively. Like no matter how much effort this team does give, this team is not ever going to be good defensively just because they don't have the skills. They don't have the length, they don't have the physical tools. But then also you're missing then the communication pretty heavily. So it's just a major combination of it all on defense. Appreciate you, Razi. But yeah, appreciate you checking in. So yeah, I think that's what's happening overall. But again, I don't think the defense should be this bad. I think that we're seeing some guys not give 100% effort. And that's all I'm asking for. I just want to see the effort defensively, and I can live with the results. I just think that some of these guys are not giving the effort, and it's very, very, very. It's just very easy to see. Is Donovan defensive coach? Why is his unit so bad? I mean, I think Donovan has always been a defensive coach, but he's also been sort of reliant on his offense to kind of, you know, be better with his, like, to kind of make his defense look better. Hence, what I say is that Donovan has never run an offense as fast. Donovan has always been a guy that runs a slower offense, a more isolation style offense. Hence, the pace of the game is always slower against Donovan. Hence, then the defense is going to look a little bit better. Now, that being said, though, I do think Donovan has always been a better defensive-minded coach. He tends to have more, you know, I guess adjustments defensively, I should say. And again, I just think that with this team, there are very few adjustments you can make. We've seen Donovan try to run zone. This team cannot run zone. Like, they don't have the physical tools to run a zone, and they just straight up do not have the defensive IQ to run it. There's just no way in hell they're going to be able to run a zone. I don't care what lineup you throw out there. There's too many guys that are either bad on defense or guys that are too young and don't know what they're doing yet. So I don't care what lineup you put out there, the zone's never going to work. Not to mention that you don't have a rim protector on this team. So even when you make a mistake defensively, it's not like there's a rim protector that kind of cover up for me. So it just shows you just how poorly built this roster is for defense. This team is not going to ever play good defense. No matter what. Even if they give 110% effort, they just don't have the physical tools. They don't have the point of attack defenders. They don't have the rim protection. They don't have the length and size. It just straight up is they just don't have it. However, I do think that Donovan needs to think about some adjustments that he can make to make the life a little bit easier, and also potentially look into some just guys giving better effort. I do think that there's some guys that just aren't giving the effort that they need to give, and it's been frustrating just kind of to witness it. And we'll talk about some of that in some of the film breakdown. So that's Bulls side of the ball, box score and everything. So here's the Bucks side. So the one player I think that just that did not really get much credit on the broadcast, and then did not get much credit kind of just throughout the game, and people just didn't really notice. I think Brook Lopez had a hell of a night. He drained some threes that was really annoying. One got taken away from the shot clock. He just was a constant force on the inside. The Bulls obviously are small. He took advantage. This is where I've always kind of said where I do think that when Vooch is not playing too great, hence last season, right? I've always said I think Brook Lopez has been better than Vooch in the past couple of seasons. That hasn't been the case this season, obviously, because Vooch has been better this year. But in the past, like 2-3 seasons, I think Brook Lopez has been better than Vooch because he's a very good defender. Yeah, he doesn't rebound like a 7-footer, probably should, but you have a Giannis Antetokounmpo on your team, and Lopez has been a really decent shooter, and just a good interior presence, and we just saw it on full display tonight. Lillard doesn't seem 100% right now. I'll be interested to kind of see how he kind of works things out there, but you can tell that most of their offense was between Antetokounmpo, Lopez, and Lillard. The one other guy that was killing the Bulls all night was AJ Green. The Bulls, for the life of them, just could not, for whatever reason, find AJ Green, and it bothered the crap out of me just witnessing that. I think the Bulls players should really know who the shooters are, and AJ Green very clear was not on their scouting report for whatever reason. So, Giddy lost him a few times. Like it just everything just kind of seems like they're just not aware. Hence, where I say the lack of effort is kind of on full display. Whether that is either just physical effort or it's the mental effort of actually reading your scouting report. It seems like guys didn't know that AJ Green was a shooter tonight, and I don't know why. There are guys that I'm really willing to kind of let shoot the ball on this Bucks roster. I'm letting Prince beat me. I'm letting Andre Jackson Jr. beat me. I'm obviously letting Giannis Antetokounmpo try to beat me, right? From the perimeter specifically. If I had to make a decision, I'm letting Bobby Portis try to beat me from the perimeter than interior. But the guys you can't leave open are Brook Lopez, Damian Lillard, Gary Trent Jr., and especially AJ Green. DeLon Wright, I'll live with it too. Like these sort of things, right? This is where I'm saying that these guys have to be better defensively. And just losing AJ Green constantly was just ridiculous to see tonight. That sort of stuff was upsetting. Giannis did his thing. This is not too surprising from me. The Bulls had no one to really guard him in terms of any sort of height. Straight up just dominated the paint all night. Just quick look at the game charts for Giannis. As you can see, everything was in the paint. Took 1 3, missed it. 3 other shots from the perimeter, missed 2, made 1. Everything else is in the paint. The Bulls just straight up just let him get there, and this is where I do think that Billy need to make a better adjustment, and he just didn't. So, but still, I expected the Bulls to, I guess, if Giannis is going to do this, then they're going to lose. So the Bulls losing this one is not that surprising. The Bucks might be, honestly, they may be okay. I'm not saying that they're going to be contenders. I still think that, even if Lillard gets back to normal, they're still missing some pieces. I think the Bucks are still missing some pieces. Obviously, they're missing Middleton, but they still, in my opinion, lack perimeter defense. So I don't know if they're necessarily going to be the contenders, but I do think that after tonight, which again, after this game tonight, the Bucks are officially now above the Bulls in the standings. As you can see now, it's officially updated. The Bucks have a half a game over the Bulls. So, all the questions about will the Bucks get past the Bulls? Like, well, they've already gotten past the Bulls. So, we'll see if this stays. I do think that Milwaukee is still suspect to potentially still lose some games that they shouldn't. But I think if, the whole question, like, well, is Milwaukee going to be able to get past the Bulls and the Bulls going to stay out of the play-in? The Bucks got past the Bulls. So, that's that. I'll just be interested to see if if their defense is going to hold, because I don't have faith in it still. But Giannis being Giannis, and some of the other guys kind of looking a little bit more like themselves is a good sign for the Bucks overall. All right, y'all. Once again, I want to say thank you guys for checking in on the stream. Don't care how good TC played. Give me an explanation for the 5 minutes per game TC was given all those minutes over Madison was doing. What the heck is wrong with Bird Brain Billy? Oh no, I agree, Box. I mean, I don't know if you weren't here earlier, but I said I don't understand how Torrey Craig went from being out of the rotation to then he's a 28-minute starter tonight. That makes no sense. I hope he's fine. I hope, like his ankle is okay. I know he took that spill, but I agree. I don't understand how Torrey Craig goes from out of the rotation to then being a 28-minute starter when Pat's out. I truly do not understand how that was possible. It makes absolutely no sense to me. I tweeted out earlier that I'm praying to God that this is we're facing Giannis type of move. And so he's only starting tonight just because Craig's been in the league longer, just has more experience against Giannis, and Billy's like, okay, you know what, let's just put Craig out there, and not try to put all the pressure on, the rookie and Phillips. But I agree. I don't understand how the hell Torrey Craig went from being out of the rotation to then he's a 20-minute starter tonight when Pat goes down. Makes no sense. In my opinion, Julian Phillips needs to easily be the starter moving forward. I think that Phillips really needs this time in the starting lineup just to get comfortable. And I think that it's going to be a good thing just to see for Phillips. He's getting extended minutes and guarding obviously the best of the best. So I would personally pick him. I'm fine if Buzelis doesn't start. I know a lot of people have been calling for Buzelis to start now because Peeble is out. I'm fine if he doesn't start, but he better be getting at least bare minimum 15 minutes a night. 15 bare minimum. The fact that he only got 5 tonight, 2 or 3 of them was in garbage time, or I guess let's say 2 of them was in garbage time. It's just inexcusable. I think Billy deserves some serious criticism for everything tonight. I don't really understand some of the decision making from his point of view. I know the Billy defenders have been very defensive of Billy, and I'm just okay, I don't care. This year needs to be about development. But even that being said, if you're being a competitive guy, right, which is what the Bulls are, so far in your competitive games, you have not played Torrey Craig all year long. He has not been in the rotation. So in your competitive eye, you have decided that if he will starting, then Julian Phillips and Buzelis come off the bench before Torrey Craig does. Because in your competitive eye, that means that you think that Julian Phillips and Montes Buzelis give you a better chance of winning the game than Torrey Craig does. But then for some reason, you decide that out of all nights tonight that, so Peeble's out, Torrey Craig is now going to be the starter, even though he has not been in my rotation all year long. It makes no sense. It really doesn't make any sense. So, again, I'm hoping it's just for this one game of okay, it's Giannis. Let's not put the rookies out there or the younger guys out there. Let's just try to see if, Torrey Craig could do whatever against Giannis, and we'll go back to being, we'll go back to Phillips and mostly Buzelis at the 4. But I agree, man. I don't understand what Billy Donovan's thought process was tonight. I think he deserves a lot of criticism for this game, and I'll be giving it to him in the breakdown. Makes no sense. No matter how we try to find logical explanation behind this decision, because in reality there is no ability to go. This isn't college. I agree. Just I just know Billy's never gonna go. So easy hops between 5 minutes per game and DNP. Somehow he became a starter time, which means what? Montes and Julian Phillips shouldn't even be in the league. Well, I think Torrey Craig on a different team plays. I think that he'd be playing on some other team. But no, I agree. I don't understand still. And here's the thing though. I think Julian Phillips in his limited time, I think Phillips played well tonight. Like, I know it was nothing spectacular, but it just, like, I think he played all right. So I don't know what Billy's exactly looking at. So if Torrey Craig is starting on Friday against, I think, Atlanta or whoever the hell we're playing Friday, I'll have some serious problems. Like, I'm gonna actually like be making a long rant on Twitter about this, because it really doesn't make any sense why Torrey Craig is suddenly in the starting lineup. Yeah, and I understand it's like, well, good job, Torrey Craig. You have a 41 Giannis. Like, first and foremost, like, I'm not gonna blame Torrey Craig for that. That's like, no one can guard Giannis for the hell of it. But once again, you blame Billy Donovan, you don't blame Torrey Craig. I just want to make that clear. I think Torrey Craig has been a nice vet. Yeah, high Viper Strike. Yeah, there's some stuff tonight with Billy that I don't understand at all. And we'll talk about it. Couple things so before we get into the film breakdown. Whoop, I did not want to do that. Sorry. So I'm gonna bring up Twitter because we need to talk about this first and foremost before we get into other things, because this is important. And it's pretty frustrating overall, just kind of looking at some of this stuff that is coming from the Bulls injury reports. I was gonna say IR, but want to make it more clear. There you go. All right, we're gonna talk about P. Will here. JB is what you want to see for a young guy. Really good to see him hitting his shots. Yeah, the 3-point shots from Julian Phillips tonight were really good. He took them even when he wasn't in the corner. He missed some, made some. That's really solid. His defense, I still think, has a ways to go in terms of what I can see him becoming as a defender. But he had that nice moment against Portis when Portis was trying to post him up and he knocked the ball away and threw it back in bounds. So like, ideally, if you're Julian Phillips right now, like, you're guarding, like, more perimeter guys, but I do think that he is more of a 4 because he really can't dribble too much unless it's a line drive to the basket. So I'm happy with his growth overall this year with Phillips. It's not anything exponential, right? I don't think that's I'm trying to make that clear. Like, I'm not expecting exponential growth from Julian Phillips this year, but the fact that he seems, he looks a lot more engaged defensively, and what I mean by that is that he just doesn't look as lost. Not that, like, he didn't try defensively, just he doesn't look as lost. And he's moving really well on offense, and he's shooting the 3 ball with full confidence. That's just really good development. So I want him to start. I really do. I don't know what else he needs to do. Again, Torrey Craig was behind him in the rotation before tonight's game, and now suddenly Torrey Craig is in the rotation tonight. In starting. It makes no damn sense. So Julian Phillips needs to start come Friday. I don't know what the Bulls were. I think it's against the Hawks, but anyway, it's like, either way, he needs to start on Friday. Yeah. Surprise, Josh. I know there's stink here, bro. Yeah. Well, I'll get to Josh Giddey. I don't want to keep talking about Josh Giddey, but like I'll talk about him after this whole injury stuff here. I'll just say anything the Bulls and the medical staff has to say. Okay, yeah. So here's the Patrick Williams situation, if you're not aware. So Patrick Williams, like, he's been popping up in the injury report the last couple of games about having some bilateral foot soreness. And it's in the same foot that he just had a procedure on. The Bulls downplayed it. They said, like, no, this is just, this is part of just Williams getting back into game shape. This is expected. It's expected after the surgery that he had. It's not that shocking. We were expecting this. He should be fine moving forward. Nothing to be worried about. Now, all of a sudden, Patrick Williams is not playing in this game, and he's already been ruled out for Friday and Saturday. So he's not playing the back-to-back on Friday and Saturday. So it went from this is nothing to be concerned about to now Patrick Williams is missing 3 straight games. He's getting imaging today. We'll see what happens from the imaging today. But this is not good. We're talking about the same foot that he just had the surgery on, and we're talking about bilateral foot soreness that has already now kept him out of 3 games. Not a good sign. I don't know what the hell the Bulls medical staff is doing. But if anything, we should all know from us being Bulls fans, as Fox has said, we should never ever trust the Bulls medical staff when it comes to anything. Diamond talks about how it's like, okay, it's going to be at least a week, potentially even more, but it shouldn't be like too long or whatever. And I'm just like, bro, just say it already. He's out a month. Okay. I already tweeted out that I am fully expecting Patrick Williams to be out for a month, with this whole issue. I don't have faith. I really don't, because Donovan's already listed him out a week already. So that means that in just a week, he's just going to be reevaluated. So he's probably already out for 2 weeks. And we know how this goes, that if it's looking bad, already at the start, then if it's like, oh, we'll see you in a week, then that means 2 weeks. And then if nothing improves in a week, then you're out for a month with this Bulls medical staff. This Bulls medical staff, it seems I don't even care who it is. I don't care who's in the door, like who's on the team, who's been hired. It doesn't matter. Whether it's Jeff Tanaka or whoever the hell is now the Bulls medical staff, it's bad. It's always been bad. They can't diagnose things correctly. They can't figure things out. Nothing seems to work well with the Bulls medical staff. And specifically now with Patrick Williams for the past 2 seasons, last season to now this year, I don't know what the hell is happening with him. I'm very concerned, because we're talking about a guy that just got paid $90 million, $18 million a year. Should be the starting forward for this team in the next 4 seasons. And I'm already expecting in my head he's out at least a month. Could be 2 months, could be 3 months, could be the rest of the season for God knows. Like, just knowing this Bulls medical staff, honestly, he could be out for the rest of the season. I wouldn't be shocked if Williams needs the same surgery that he just got, because that's the Bulls medical staff. They screw things up. And I will continue harping on this until something changes, because very clearly the common denominator is the Bulls medical staff. I don't like you honestly could, I'm telling you right now, you can go get Mikal Bridges onto this roster, and somehow Mikal Bridges will get injured and he'll be out for a long time. The Iron Man of the NBA, who has not missed a game since high school, like at least what we know through college, but like, I guarantee you he will somehow get injured and he'll be out for multiple weeks on this Bulls medical staff. It's gonna happen. So this is annoying. I'm frustrated. I'm aggravated, and we're gonna have to see what happens with Patrick Williams. Maybe this explains some of his missed dunks that he's had recently. He can't get really good lift because he's having soreness. But either way, though, if he's having some serious soreness, why the hell was he playing? He shouldn't have been playing in the first place. This Bulls medical staff continues to just make poor decisions, and force players into thinking, oh, it's fine if I play this game or whatever. Or give the go ahead and say, hey, yo, you're probably fine for this game, when in actuality, you're probably not. So it's just frustrating. I'm upset, and I'm gonna just leave it there, because I could cuss him out even more if I really wanted to. Yeah, if I'm a Bulls player and I'm ever injured, right, I am not trusting the Bulls medical staff. I'm immediately seeking a second opinion. Go and find your doctors that you trust and go and talk to them. Do not go and talk to the Bulls medical staff. Hence why I keep telling people that if you are a person that says Zach LaVine intentionally went and got surgery and, was very clear of the consequences that was going to happen because of him getting the surgery, right, and he actually didn't need surgery, I'll tell you right now, the Bulls were telling him, do not go get surgery. So if you're going to tell me that you trust the Bulls medical staff and you think that Zach LaVine should have not gotten surgery in last season, then here you go again. Here's another argument of why I tell you one more time. Never trust the Bulls medical staff. Don't ever question the player. Let the player figure it out themselves, okay? At the end of the day, trust the player. Do not ever trust the Bulls medical staff. Never trust the Bulls medical staff. Never trust what they're saying. Always trust what the player is saying. So if that Bulls player goes and gets a second opinion, trust them, because that's more reliable than the Bulls medical staff. Never trust the Bulls medical staff. So again, one more time, if you kept saying that, oh, Zach LaVine went and got surgery because of he didn't want to face the consequences or whatever, or try to avoid getting traded to the Pistons, or he tried to go get surgery because he didn't want to get traded to the Pistons or whatever, and screw over the Bulls, Well, one more time. Never trust the Bulls medical staff. The Bulls medical staff did not want him to get surgery. He went and got his own opinion from his own doctors, and they said go get surgery. So, again, go trust the player. Never trust the medical staff on this Bulls roster. Never trust them. So, if anybody's going to get injured, go to your own doctors. Please, for the love of God. Not honestly looking forward to him breaking 3 as the next 5 attempts this week. I mean, yeah, it was honestly probably coming, but yeah. What's going on, Rob? It does say his next thing could possibly be Washington Tuesday. If he's not healthy, he'll miss more time. I'm going to tell you right now, he's not playing in that game. This is just the way that this is going to go with P. Will. It's never going to go that way. Like, the Bulls medical staff. He's not playing Tuesday. I mean, this is the same thing that people told me that Lonzo's going to come back, this last weekend, and here we are, Lonzo's still not back. So I just, the way I always look at it is that if they say he's out a week, he's out at least 2 weeks. If they say he's out 2 weeks, he's out for 4 weeks, because this Bulls medical staff can't get shit right. So just always think the doomsday, right? If they say he's out for 2 months, he's out for the season. Okay, that's how it should work with this Bulls medical staff. They're not going to get it right. So always think worst case scenario, because this Bulls medical staff can't get crap right. They'll try to rush guys back when they're not ready. Josh Giddey doesn't fit this team. The Bulls don't have rim protection. Bulls don't allow ball handlers. Giddey doesn't play well off the ball. Well, I think, Megs, the problem with this statement is just it shows you that if you're trying to build a team for Giddey's success, but he's not that good in the first place, then why would you build a team around Giddey's talent, right? Like, it makes no sense. What you should not be building a team around Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey needs to fit into this team. And so this is the reason why I've been very critical of this trade, because I don't think Giddey can play off ball, hence why I was scared about it. And Giddey's not going to be a guy that you're going to put the ball in his hands if you have just better guys handling the ball. And we're talking about guys that are not even all-stars. Like, very clearly, you would rather have, I would assume, Kobe White and obviously Zach LaVine, an all-star, handling the ball over Josh Giddey at the moment. 2 of those guys are not all-stars. One's coming off the bench. So, sure, yeah, I don't think Giddey fits this team, but does Josh Giddey fit any team then? Because I'm going to say this right now, I don't think Josh Giddey can go onto any of the 29 teams and say, yeah, I fit in on this team right nicely. Like, no. He's not going to get the ball like he wants to on any of the other 29 teams. Hence why the Thunder got rid of him. They don't want him. He doesn't fit on their team. And what did they go do? They got a damn good defender who's one of the best in the NBA that fits their roster. So, like, the argument that Josh Giddey does not fit on this team, that this team is not built around Josh Giddey, I'm like, okay, go find me a team right now that's going to go and build a team around Josh Giddey. No team's going to do that. No team is going to allow him to be the main ball handler. I don't even care. Like, go play for the 76ers when they're trying to go for the 0-82 season. Like, no team is going to go ahead and give Josh Giddey the ball like he wants to, especially because he's a bad defender and he's not that good of a finisher at the rim. He doesn't shoot the 3 ball well. Hence why I've been saying that if he's ever going to be an effective player in the NBA, he needs to hit the 3 ball so he can actually play off ball, because he's not going to play on ball. And we're finding that out pretty quickly. So I'm being real. I don't know what Josh Giddey's going to do after the season. If this continues on for the rest of this season, though, where he's not closing games, he's not playing as many minutes, he's not having the ball in his hands, obviously, he might just go back to Australia. I'm being real. Hence, then the Bulls traded for a guy that went back to Australia for Caruso, their most valuable asset at the time. So, just throwing it out there. Hi, Delbert. Thank you for checking in. You got just what players tell you what's going on. I agree. Don't care me more, Julian and Montez. How did they look to you tonight? Did they cover that right? Okay, yeah. So I think Julian Phillips looked pretty solid. Like, nothing spectacular tonight. I liked how he played. Again, nothing spectacular, but I like the threes that he shot. He moved well. I think defensively he's a little questionable defensively at the 4 just because of his lack of size. But I would much rather just try to see how he plays there. Even if he's gonna lack, like, defensive size. I would just like to see him just start there. I don't know why Torrey Craig's suddenly in the starting lineup after he's been not in the rotation. Makes no damn sense. So Billy is gonna get a lot of fire from me in this stream. But yeah, I just Phillips was pretty solid tonight. Buzelis needs more than 5 minutes, which is just ridiculous that he didn't play more tonight. I think that I don't need Buzelis to start. I know a lot of people are calling for Buzelis to suddenly start. I don't need him to start, but he needs to get at least 15 minutes per game now, with people out. So if Phillips is going to start, then Buzelis he has to at least get 15 minutes per game. And you know, we'll see if maybe Billy Donovan plays with Terry at 4. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'll be interested to see if that's what happens. When I first came out, I was like thinking to myself, why would a guy go through surgery just to not go through a trade? It made no sense. It had to be issued the whole time. Well, I tell everybody when it comes to any player getting surgery, first and foremost, it's surgery. Okay, like I don't know why people think that like medical stuff now, I guess in terms of sports, it just seems like so natural now, where it's just like, yeah, this guy just got surgery the other day, and like we move on to our Tuesday. You know, like surgery is still a big thing. It's not like it's something that's just like, yeah, we can just go do and we're fine. It's a long process to obviously get healed from it and recover and rehab and get back to full strength. So in my opinion, if at any point, if a player does get surgery, then I'm going to trust that it was a serious issue and I'm not going to question it. Like I will never ever think that, oh, this player got surgery just to try to make sure that they didn't get traded to some team. That makes no sense. I don't think any sort of player is going to be willing to do such a thing. Because you're potentially, I mean, surgery could go wrong, people. Like, I don't think people understand. Like, surgery could go wrong. I know that in today's world, it just doesn't seem like it could, but it could go wrong. And then not to mention after that, you have to, like, seriously work on yourself to rehab. And so, like, when people question Zach, I'm just like, why are you questioning this? Like, this is a serious thing here. And so when it comes to now this Patrick Williams situation here, I'm just concerned because I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I don't trust the Bulls medical staff. Billy Donovan says it's going to be a week, right? But he gets the info from the Bulls medical staff. So I'm like, I don't trust the Bulls medical staff. Billy says a week, so I'm thinking 2 weeks. And so I want people. If I'm a Bulls player right now, and I'm not Patrick Williams, I'm going to tell Patrick Williams, go get a second opinion because I do not trust this Bulls medical staff whatsoever. Go get someone else to look at your foot and try to diagnose it. You know, have them diagnose it and try to figure out a rehab plan for you. Do not trust the Bulls medical staff. That's the last people to trust. Go get someone else, please. It would happen last year. Make a change to the medical staff specifically, but again, there's medical staff that works very much. I don't know, honestly. I don't know the ins and outs of the medical staff. I've tried to do my research, but it just like I get mixed answers. Yeah, like you said though, it is just a medical staff that works under Jerry Reinsdorf. So I don't know what the hell the medical situation is, but if you're hired by Jerry Reinsdorf, or I guess in this case it could be AK or Mark Eversley, I do not trust you. So sorry. It is who it is at this point. Really, I heard Luol Deng said he wanted to sue the Bulls medical staff or something. So yeah, so the Bulls medical staff convinced Luol Deng to get a spinal tap because they seriously thought that he was like sick. And this was in the middle of the Bulls versus Brooklyn series in 2013 playoffs. I don't know if you guys remember that, but that was the series where Nate Robinson went insane in Game 4. But if you remember that how that series went, Luol Deng played in Game 4, but then he didn't play in Game 5, 6, and 7. So he then went and got a spinal tap because the Bulls medical staff convinced him that he really needed one, and then we find out that he didn't need one. And Luol Deng claims that it severely decreased his playing time in his career. He just felt like he was never the same after that. He had some good play still after that spinal tap, but like, he claims that he was never the same. So yeah, it just, once again, I don't care what year it is, you just don't trust the Bulls medical staff, please. I mean, remember how they're accusing D Rose for not wanting to play while they were still saying he was 100% the media turnout, eventually the fans turn him. Yeah, I mean, yeah. When people were saying that Derrick Rose like should have came back, like the year he sat out for his ACL tear, I'm just like, why? Like, no, we don't need to do that. Like, if anything, I feel like D Rose should get the benefit of the doubt from anybody because he's the franchise star. But that's how this goes, right? Randy Buzelis, they should have went to the Spurs play with the Wemby. Bulls should have gotten 2 first-round picks for Caruso. Well, I think the Bulls could have gotten 2 first-round picks for Caruso if they traded him in the middle of the season, because that meant that he had a year and a half left in his contract. You are not going to get 2 first-round picks for Caruso in the offseason. Caruso is on a 1-year contract. No one's going to trade 2 first-round picks for a 1-year contract, okay? Unless it's obviously a superstar. So, I said, though, that either way, I wanted picks along with Giddey. Whether it was 2 seconds, whether it was a first, a heavily protected first, I don't care. You need to get something else with Giddey, and hence why we're seeing it now. He's not anything special. So, I'm just, yeah, I'm not gonna like continue saying that sort of stuff, but like that is what I said though. Like the Bulls needed to get picks. I don't know if necessarily Billy's ruining Buzelis just yet, but I will agree though that we might be heading towards that timeline. I honestly don't think that Buzelis should have started. I think Phillips should be starting personally, but that being said, though, I said Buzelis should be getting 15 minutes a game no matter what, and that has not obviously happened. Yeah, that's what it was. What Box is saying. Yeah, they thought he had meningitis, and so it was like spinal tap. Bulls have a Jordan era has been awful. Well, I'm gonna be real though, guys. I actually don't know if even in the Jordan era that it was a good medical staff, right? Like, I think back then guys were just so hard nosed of like we're just gonna play through anything that they may have played when they really shouldn't have, you know. So like I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know. I don't even know if the Bulls medical staff back then was even good. But hence, I don't know if any of the medical staffs in the NBA were really good. You know, medicine's come a long way since then, but yeah. Now, why did the Bulls trade Caruso for Giddey in the first place? Because he's young, he has a lot of upset. That's what AK said. I don't agree with that. Well, Migs, you hit it right on the spot, right? That you literally hit it on the spot. Arturas Karnisovas thought Josh Giddey has a lot of potential. That's the reason why he traded for him. So he, in his head, was thinking, "Oh, I see a player that I think has a lot of potential that I like a lot." And I think that player right now is personally his stock is low because of what happened in the playoffs. The Thunder are not playing him as often. He's been relegated to an off-ball role. Hence why then AK was like, yeah, I'll trade Caruso for Josh Giddey because he thought that he was winning the trade. Arturas Karnisovas does not understand how things work. He thinks he's winning trades. He thinks he's winning negotiations when he's flat out losing. In his head, he's thinking, well, I'm trading a role player in Alex Caruso, who again is, if you're going to talk about role players, he is one of the best role players in the world. He is one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. So it's not just any role player. It's not just like any sort of role player, dude. We're talking about one of the best defenders in the league that you're trading for Josh Giddey, who Arturas Karnisovas thinks who's going to become an all-star one day. Well, we as fans who are clearly smarter than him, we're like, well, we're concerned about Giddey with the fact that 1, he is not that athletic, 2, he doesn't shoot the ball well, 3, he can't finish at the rim, and then 4, he doesn't play defense. So, AK, out of all those things, of all the things I've listed, he just is like, yeah, don't care about that, don't worry about that, he's gonna become an all-star one day, and we're here now. So, that's why makes that we trade Caruso for Giddey. I hated it. I think it was a bad trade. I said it. I've been then trying to stay middle ground about Giddey and not be, on one side of the spectrum, but he's clearly been bad. So hence, I'm saying he's been bad. But the trade itself, though, was just awful. It was a horrible trade. Yeah. So yeah, basically, though, if you're wondering about the Luol Deng situation, he didn't have meningitis. The Bulls medical staff thought he had meningitis, and then they're like, yep, spinal tap, and it's like, nope, you didn't need a spinal tap. Bulls are young and developing backcourt, and Kobe and I should look at that thing. I know the Giddey thing would be a mess with Kobe in the point guard last year and did a good job. I mean, honestly, though, Woodage, we're kind of getting that right now. Like, I think I would argue that Kobe's now the point guard again. Like, Giddey's been off ball a lot, and I still think that Kobe's been used kind of similar to what he's been used in the last year. So yeah, I don't necessarily think that's been too like now, obviously, but The problem is that Giddey is just, if he's on the court, he's just a net negative at the moment. Yeah, so it's not great playing next to Kobe. But in the end, I do think that Kobe right now is the point guard again. Gary Rennie season by not playing, and possibly if the word got out they were doing it on purpose, who would want? Yeah, the injury is loose points, or is that too? If you're talking about P. Will, Rob, I don't know necessarily what the injury is for P. Will. It's just bilateral foot soreness. Zach had the loose bone kind of issue. Yeah. He's still trying Giddey with Zach and Kobe with IL as the pairings most times when not staggering. I mean, still, I don't want Giddey on the floor at any point, honestly, but you know, he's like front office a bunch of veterinarians. Giddey another Michael Williams, but without the defense. I mean, I guess if you want to say that, sure, yeah, I guess that's actually that's not a bad comparison. Oh yeah, Rob, yeah, like like the whole bad mouthing about why like no one wants to come here, like yeah, like no one trusts the Bulls medical staff. Like, why would you want to come here if you don't trust them? Yeah, Pittman's back was clearly destroyed by 98. Yep. Okay, Woodage though. Here's the question I'm gonna give to you, Woodage though. Like, I understand what you're like. People keep telling me that, oh, Giddey needs to go play like Giddey needs to go to a team that's built around him, or Giddey, like the Bulls don't fit him, so Giddey can't be himself here. Go tell me a team right now. Go look at the other 29 teams in the NBA. Where the hell is Josh Giddey gonna go and be where he wants to be Josh Giddey? Like, I don't think there's any team right now that is gonna allow Josh Giddey to go and be the main dominant ball handler, playmaker, and you know, let him do everything that he wants to do on ball, while also being a bad defender and not shoot the three ball well, and not finish at the rim well. There's no other team, honestly. I don't think there's any team out there. Like, that's the reason why when I tell people, like, I don't care that you're telling me that like the Bulls don't fit, they have too many ball handlers. I'm like, go find another team that doesn't have all these ball handlers, that are very clearly a better option with the ball in their hands, that can shoot the three ball consistently, that can actually finish at the basket. There's no other team. You say the Spurs, I would much rather put Stephon Castle and play him than play Josh Giddey. Like, I'm not playing Josh Giddey over Stephon Castle. That'd just be dumb. Like, I don't understand. Like, this is the reason why when I tell people, like if you're telling me like the Bulls are not a good fit for Josh Giddey, I'm like, okay, well, first and foremost, I don't know where else you're gonna find a better fit, because the Bulls are launching threes, they're moving the basketball, and no one's really ball dominant. Zach only took 15 shots tonight. But if you're telling me that like, oh, Giddey needs to be, you know, somewhere where he can be himself, I'm like, go find me a place where that's gonna happen. It's not there. Like, I'm not playing Josh Giddey over Stephon Castle. I'm not playing Josh Giddey over Chris Paul. Like, I'm trusting those guys. Like, I'm being real here. Like, let's just think about this for a second. Like, so Darius says Portland, but like, why would I play Josh Giddey over Scoot Henderson? Like, I'm just being. Why would we do that? I understand Scoot Henderson has been good, but why would I do that? Because when people start saying this sort of thing, where it's like, well, Giddey needs to be in the team where it fits him, I'm like, so you're telling me that a team needs to build around Josh Giddey, who is not an all-star, who doesn't play defense, that has a very limited skill set, and you're telling me that that team needs to go build around him? Like, why would any team do that? No one's going to build a team that's specifically for Josh Giddey. No one's going to do that. Like, why would a team go do that? There's no reason to do that. I understand that people are in love with the stats. Like, people look at his stats, they're like, oh my god, 8 rebounds a game, 8 assists per game. But why would a team go out of their way and be like, yeah, we're gonna make sure Josh Giddey's our main guy, and we're gonna make sure that we have like shooters everywhere, we have all these 6'10 forwards everywhere with a damn good rim protector that can also shoot the three ball. Like, why would we do that? That's not gonna work. Like, first and foremost, it's just hard enough to build a team like that, But secondly, why would you go out of your way for a guy that's not an all-star? Okay, there's no reason to do such a thing. And just to repeat what Delbert's kind of saying here, the Bulls gave the keys to the car to get to the keys to the car to Giddey. Like, they gave him the keys to the car. They were like, hey, let's go ahead and see, man, like, what are you made of? Like, let's actually try to see this. And it has not worked out. Hence why Billy is like, nope, I'm trusting Kobe, I'm trusting Zach to run the offense because they're just a better option. Like, if you're not going to be able to score 20 a night, then why would I give you the ball? You need to then go and be off ball and try to find ways to be more impactful. I talked about then in the Pistons game how Giddey played more off ball and he found ways to be more impactful throughout the game. It wasn't a great game, but he found ways to be impactful. But if you're not going to be able to shoot the 3-ball consistently and you're not going to go and give me that effort, then why would I play you? I really don't know why. I tell people constantly, like, if Giddey's not on ball, what is he doing out there? I don't want to play him. If I'm Billy Donovan, I'm not playing him. And Billy right now he's still playing him at the moment because he's starting. And I don't know how long it's going to last, honestly. Baytori going down as a blessing. We'll see. I don't necessarily know if I don't count any sort of injury as like a blessing, but maybe it will, I guess, maybe make Dom and do the correct decision. If you're not a superstar caliber player and you need a team specifically built around you, or if you did not suck, then maybe you just aren't starting material. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, straight up what Box said. Not as bad as campaign, obviously, but damn. No, I'm gonna be real, Delber. I think we're getting to campaign levels. Like, if you have not seen Steph No's recent article, like, first again, Steph No, who he's written Bulls stuff for a long time. He doesn't fully look at Bulls stuff anymore, or he doesn't fully cover Bulls stuff anymore. He covers just the entire NBA. But I mean, he automatically started thinking like about another Bulls Thunder trade that happened. And if you're not aware of that trade, that was when the Bulls traded Taj Gibson, Doug McDermott, and a 2nd round pick for Campaign, Anthony Morrow, and Joffrey Laverne. Like, I said, it was very funny because I got into an argument with David Kaplan over Twitter about this. I'm like, this is a horrific trade. Like, why would you like this trade? Because David Kaplan loved the trade. I'm just like, that's a stupid trade. Hence, what happened? It was a stupid trade. Like, I'm being real. I don't know why. Like, there's so many people that are in Bulls or sports media in Chicago that I lose my mind over. But like, that was a stupid trade. It very clearly did not turn out to be anything special. But what did Gar Forman say? Gar Forman, when he traded for Campaign, said that we're looking at potentially this guy as a point guard of the future. Okay, well, that clearly did not work out. I mean, very obviously. So now we're looking at Arturas Karnisovas, who traded Alex Caruso or Josh Giddey, both on 1-year contracts. One is coming off one of probably his worst seasons ever. The other is coming off an all-defensive second-team selection and is one of the best defenders in the NBA. Traded 1-for-1 for this guy and said Josh Giddey is going to be the all-star of our future at point guard. Well, we're now 16 games in, and we're looking at Josh Giddey like, what the hell are you still? So, it's just showing you, like, we don't know what the hell is happening. I don't know what the hell Arturas Karnisovas thought, but we all said, like, I mean, at least a lot of people said, I know that the Australians are very, very protective of Giddey, and rightfully so. I mean, he is from your country. But we said, though, like, here are the concerns. This is, and why we think it's not going to work. And we're here, and it's very clear it hasn't worked. Billy Donovan, the coach that Arturas Karnisovas apparently has a great relationship with, has even said it's not going to work. So, great job, AK. You messed this one up. Like, I don't know what else to tell you, but you clearly messed this one up. So, now what are you going to do? You just traded one of your most valuable assets for a guy that might not even be on the team next year. Is good, you want to keep the pick or not? I do want to keep the pick. So here's the funny thing that people are saying is that, well, the whole entire time that AK was thinking about this is that all he wanted to do was just make sure that the Bulls kept the pick, and so he knew Josh Giddey was bad, so he traded Alex Caruso for hopefully keeping the pick, because he knew that this team was going to be kind of decent. So you went and got Josh Giddey to make sure that the team is just going to be awful. hence then we get to keep the pick. I don't think AK can play that level of chess, but I guess if that's the way you want to think about it, sure. I don't think he thought about it that way. But I don't think that's even possible. But I think AK's just stupid. He legitimately thought Josh Giddey's gonna be the next All-Star, and he just hasn't been that. So yeah, I don't think that was ever the case. But for someone that is in my position where I do want to keep the pick, I like, it's not the worst thing in the world. I'm more though still frustrated about the fact that the Bulls gave up Alex Caruso for what could potentially just be nothing. Like that in itself, like whether we get to keep or not, like let's say we get Cooper Flag. Like I'm still just upset about it because you didn't maximize your assets. Because yeah, it's cool you got Cooper Flag, but what if you could have had Cooper Flag plus another extra first round pick? Wouldn't that be awesome? Like I would feel a lot better just knowing that we had an extra first round pick to use. So that's why I'm going to be so frustrated about it at the end of the day, because you traded one of your best assets, in my opinion, for a guy that honestly, I'm being real. I don't know if Josh Giddey's gonna be in the league next year. There are actually some questions right now about if Josh Giddey might just go back to Australia next year if the season just continues to be bad for him, and he's like kind of realizing, well, I'm not gonna play the way I want to play in the NBA, so I'll just go back to Australia. Like, so yeah, I'm not happy still. Like, yeah, we got Cooper Flag, yay, but like, I'm not happy. So I think AK is still gonna find a way to mess things up. There's a force ability to start Mountain Buzelis. No, I want Julian Phillips to start. I know a lot of people want Buzelis to start. I want Buzelis to play. I want Buzelis to play a lot of minutes. But I'm fine if he doesn't start. I'm fine if he doesn't go on and start every game. Delbert, you're thinking... Oh, wait, yeah, never mind. I forgot. That. Was Anthony Moore really on that team? I guess he was, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Yeah. Why even waste so many of your day to argue with capital people? I was much younger than I was now. And it was kind of the first ever... Like, one of my first ever interactions on Twitter. So, that's the reason why... that's the reason why I argued with Cap. But also Cap was just being annoying, bro. Cap was everywhere. Like, Cap like tweeted like I think like 5 or 6 tweets right when the trade happened, and was like then covering it on TV at the same time. I was just like, bro, I can't. Bullshit demand OKC to send us picks. I said it. Yeah, I agree. We couldn't even get 2 seconds apparently. Can we fly to play 2 minutes next season? No. Like Box is saying, I'm telling you right now, like I don't think the Bulls they're not gonna go and get Cooper Flag. I still think though, no matter what, keeping the pick is a good decision. Like, let's just say the Bulls land actually at 7, which is the cursed spot, but I think it's a good decision still. I think it's a solid overall thing. Reminder that Franz Wagner was picked 8th overall. Just saying. So I still think keeping the pick is the best thing is overall. For all the people saying that the Bulls are not going to keep the pick, I mean, right now the Bulls are currently 11th in the worst Eastern Conference ever. So, we now have 4 teams above 500. Congrats. But, yeah, I mean, Bulls are still down here. We'll see. Again, it's obviously still very early. The Bulls can easily go back into the play-in on Friday. But, I do think, though, that for all the people that thought 500... I don't necessarily know if that's really, especially with this level of defense. But if the Bulls can figure out defensively, then maybe they'll be closer to 500. So right, my brand where Giddey could fit well. Brooklyn maybe Simmons still better even though he doesn't play. No, I agree. Like if right now, so again, forget the contract for Ben Simmons. Would I rather have Ben Simmons or Josh Giddey right now? Yes, I would. I understand that dude, he doesn't play, but in terms of skill set and what I know that they can bring to the table, I would much rather have Ben Simmons than Josh Giddey at the moment, because I can play Ben Simmons at like the 5, and he'll never shoot a 3 or a perimeter shot ever, but he'll give me solid defense. He'll pass it pretty decently. He'll run a fast break more effectively, and he'll be able to finish at the rim more effectively if he actually tries. Still a bad free throw shooter, but Giddey wasn't shooting great from the free throw line either. But even that being said, though, Let's say Brooklyn. Well, why would I give the ball to Josh Giddey over Cam Thomas right now? Like, I'm just being honest. Like, if you're Brooklyn, if you're going to choose between Josh Giddey and Cam Thomas to handle the basketball, who are you giving the ball to? You're giving it to Cam Thomas because that is the very obvious and clear-cut decision. Why would you not give it to Cam Thomas in that situation? The Halliburton looking very giddy this season. Someone tried to fix his shot, broken now. Now he is one who can't shoot. I will say Halliburton has not looked very good. But I'm going to trust the guy that was actually on Team USA, and I have more faith in him than Giddey. But also, not to mention this, I think Halliburton very clearly bends the defense. Giddey does not. Like, whether Halliburton's shooting good or not, like I think Halliburton can very clearly still bend the defense. It's just a better ball handler. No, I agree, Box. But trusting in that trade, that's a situation where I would have wanted him to get a second round pick, knowing that Giddey isn't as good. Thank you by getting him. Well, no, I said that, Rob, that AK should have at bare minimum asked for 2 seconds and said that we're not making this trade unless we're getting 2 seconds. I think he should have at least probably gotten a protected first round pick because Giddey's stock was low. Like Caruso's value, even though he was on a 1-year contract, was still high. So the fact that you didn't get a pick out of it is just malpractice. But I said though also that if you're AK, you tell Sam Presti, who really wants Alex Caruso, hey, this trade doesn't happen unless we're getting a pick, and you didn't do that. Hence why we're here. If people will not play for next couple games, might as well start Julian Phillips and T-Sting and Montes 10-15 player on court. They're not winning games anyway. I agree, Migs. Yeah, I wanted Julian Phillips to start tonight. I don't know why the hell Torrey Craig went from out of the rotation into the starting spot and playing 28 minutes tonight. It makes no damn sense. But it's Billy Donovan, so we're gonna always question him at the end of the day. Oh, I agree, Rob. Yeah, I think AK legitimately thought that Giddey's gonna come in and be like an impactful player right off the bat. Hence, then he's like, oh, we don't need extra picks. Halliburton's floor is way too low. When he's bad, he's bad. Oh, I agree. Yeah. I think Halliburton, like, there's a reason why Steve Kerr didn't really play him on Team USA. Yeah, I do agree that if Halliburton's not really hitting a shot, I do think that his defensive end is very suspect. But I'm gonna have more faith in him than Josh Giddey. Like, I'm just being real. Like, at the end of the day, I'm gonna have much more faith in Halliburton than Josh Giddey because we've seen Halliburton have a good year. You can argue multiple good years. I mean, I don't really bet in defense like that. I agree. I don't think Io does bet in the defense like that. But that being said, though, do I trust Io Dosunmu to finish better at the rim than Josh Giddey? Yeah, I know he's had a struggle so far to start the season, but I trust Io Dosunmu to finish better at the rim than Josh Giddey. I also trust Io Dosunmu to handle the ball better than Josh Giddey, and not turn it over as much. Does Io have his weaknesses? Yeah, I do think that Io's more of a 2-guard right now with how things are. With how he's playing so far this season. He's not shooting the ball well. I'm very much aware of that from 3-point range. But I know with Io, he's going to give me better defense than Giddey. He's going to give me a better finisher at the rim, a much more controlled ball handler, and arguably play better pace. So, by the way, if you're wondering this too, some people have been talking about, well, Io's stats have not looked good this year, and I agree. I don't think Io's stats and his net rating have looked good at all this year. I think Io's been pretty bad this year overall. Like his net rating, if you're wondering for Io, has been pretty bad. But I just want to point this out. So really quickly, for all the people that are like, well, like Giddey's kind of like taking the heat off Io. Sure, you can say that. I maybe that is true. But I just want to show you what is like kind of what goes through my head of why I'm not as critical on Io. First and foremost, he's a bench player right now. Okay, let's just make that very clear because Giddey is very clearly the starter at the moment. And I know that some people will be like, well, Io's he's closing now, but there's a reason why he is closing. But just to show you right now, so the net rating right now for Josh Giddey is negative 12.4. Io's is pretty similar, right? Io's is negative 12.3. It's basically as if like they're both net negatives at the moment. But the thing that people are kind of like forgetting here is, what does it look like when it comes to the actual other lineups? Okay, so for reference, right, the starting lineup, with P. Will, with Josh Giddey, no Io. Okay, the net rating for that starting lineup is a negative 7.1. Okay, now if you add Io to Sumu and take out Josh Giddey, it's a positive 1.1. So I'm aware, like, Io's net rating doesn't look great, but in terms of playing with the main guys on the floor, Io's been much more effective with the main guys on the floor than Josh Giddey has been all season long. So yeah, Io's net rating doesn't look too great, but I also do want to mention that Io has played a ton of minutes with Josh Giddey this season so far. So it's kind of up to you what you want to look at it as. Like, I think that honestly, you could argue that some of Io's bad net rating is because Giddey's been on the floor with him a lot. But I'm gonna say it's probably too harsh overall. I do think that Io has not really been great this year. But in the end, though, I'm trusting that lineup, the Vucevic, Levine, Kobe, P. Will, Io lineup much more than I am ever trusting that lineup with Giddey in it over Io. So, hence why Billy is closing with that lineup over closing with Giddey on the floor. It's gonna be much worse when they trade Zach and Vooch. We'll see if they actually do it. I don't know if they're actually gonna trade them. I would like to trade both, but we'll see. Legitimately afraid how ugly the offense will become if we trade Zach and Vooch. I'm fine if the offense becomes ugly, honestly. I just need them just to continue to play with pace. Play fast, shoot the threes, right? I just need them to continue playing this way, because right now what I don't think people are understanding is that Zach is doing a lot. Like, his usage percentage is lower than previous years, but Zach's doing a lot for this offense. I mean, not just shooting wise, but also creating advantages for other players, right, to get open looks. So a lot of it's going to really fall onto Kobe and Io's hands if Zach does get traded, and we don't get like a point guard in return or whatever, or like a main ball handler in return. So yeah, it's gonna be, if Zach does get traded, I do think the offense will suffer. I'll be interested to see how it looks. The only thing I just want to go ahead and reiterate is just like the team just better just keep playing the same way. Shoot the three ball, play with pace, play fast, etc. Negative is not good. Probably closer to the bad. Draft picks. People draft pick destroys everything else. So no good there. The question is, what are the strong points per front office? Oh, nothing. The only strong points of the front office so far has been that they've gotten Kobe and Io on pretty decent contracts. And you can even say that they lost the Io to Sumu negotiation. That's it, though. And they trade Vooch, who plays center. Smith and Sonogo both have knee issues on Io. Sometimes this year, unless they get a CC back, I don't know who would even be. Who that could even be. Yeah, I agree. Like, we're going to be really small. But I wouldn't mind it. I'd like to see Jalen Smith play more minutes if he can figure it out. Because like every single GM in the league is waiting for AK. I mean, to get desperate or to commit highway robbery. I mean, the one thing that AK has done right is that he didn't just like trade Zach in a pick just to get Zach's contract off. So I guess that's the one thing that he did right. So I mean, at least right now, it shouldn't be highway robbery, right? Like, you're not trading a first round pick to get Zach LaVine off the team now. You should at least be not trading a pick, right? So you may not get anything really good in return, but at least you're not trading a pick anymore. So it's no more a highway robbery. But I don't trust them to get the most value out of Zach. Well, Darius, I mean, like, I understand that, but I think that if AK did actually think that if we're going to be bad, then he would have gotten picks in return in that Giddey trade. But he didn't. He thought Giddey was going to be a really impactful player right off the bat and have this team being competitive. Which, I mean, you could say they've been competitive so far. They're 4 games under 500, but they're 11th in the East at the moment. But, like, I mean, Darius, I talked about it. Like, I don't think AK is playing that level of chess. I don't think AK thought, okay, you know what? We're going to trick Billy Donovan and think we're going to be competitive. We're going to trade Alex Caruso for Josh Giddey. and knowing that this team's going to be like decent, we're just going to make sure that Josh Giddey plays a lot of minutes so that we'll be bad enough to keep our pick. Like, that just sounds like a ridiculous level of chess that if AK, who has shown his stupidity already, like, why the hell would we ever think that he's going to play that level of chess? But also, not to mention, it's just a dumb decision. Like, why would you trade Alex Caruso then for Josh Giddey when you could trade Alex Caruso for something more valuable? Like, why would you do that? Make it a solid two-way big man. I mean, yeah, ideally, but, you know. I keep your pick is better than a possible protected pick. Well, let me say this way. Let's say instead you got Josh Giddey in a protected first-round pick from the Celtics or whatever. Like, wouldn't you want that than the situation we're currently in right now? Because you can still also be bad, right, and keep your pick while also having that extra pick. Like, I'm just saying. Like, I know it's like, you know, that pick's going to be in the low 20s or high 20s or whatever you want to call it. But that's still another first-round pick. If you're rebuilding, I don't care how many or where the picks are, you just need picks. That's the whole point of a rebuild is just to accumulate as much young talent as possible. And you do that by getting picks, right? You do it by selecting guys in the draft. It doesn't matter where they are in the draft. You just got to select them, okay? So bring D-Rose back? No, we don't need D-Rose back. No, I mean, Delbert, I mean, that's the reason why I said one of my predictions this year was I said that it don't matter how bad it's going to get, Josh Giddey will start every single game because AK and Mark Eversley have to decide if they're going to pay him or not. And hence why I'm just like, I don't know if they're going to actually pay him. Yeah, Charles, though, that's bad talent evaluation. Again, I don't even care if he was a lottery pick before. I don't care if you think he has as much talent as or whatever. His value's low, right? Giddey's value at the time was low. Like, I don't care if that he was a previous lottery pick. I don't care if you think he has a lot of potential. But the fact that his value is low and you're trading a guy whose value is very high, okay, you should still be getting something more than just Josh Giddey out of the trade. So, Charles, if you're saying that just because the Bulls can't do well with draft picks in the first place, that the Bulls shouldn't go and get more draft picks if they're actually rebuilding, like, I don't care how bad the front office is. If I'm rebuilding, I am getting as many first-round picks as possible. I don't care how bad the front office is at drafting. You better go get those picks. You better. Like, what else are we going to do here? Because clearly right now the Bulls aren't good at doing trades either, because hence we traded for Josh Giddey. Like, either way, it looks bad, right? So I would still rather to have the pick than not. Away AC put you in a better position to lose and keep the pick by weakening the defense specifically. Okay, no, Rob. Like, I understand what you're saying, Rob, like, if that's the thought process, but you can't. I still say it's poor asset management. It's poor asset management to then do this then. Because if there is a risk with the Giddey trade, right, which is that he doesn't turn out to be anything, then why would you do that? Like, there's much better ways that you can do exactly what you're saying, Rob. Like, it's the same thing, but you would get more value in return out of it. Now he's strategic when making solo, buy high trades, hence what Sam Presti did. But also, AK lost all of his leverage because he went to Sam Presti and was like, yeah, we want Giddey. Like, the way AK handled Caruso's trade value was completely incorrect. instead of saying like, hey, Caruso's available to every single team, he then went to Sam Presti and said, hey, I want Josh Giddey, hence then he loses all of his leverage on Caruso. No, Charles, okay, look, one more time. I have said it very clearly. Alex Caruso on a 1-year contract is not going to give you 2 first-round picks. I agree with that. I've said that very clear. If he was traded in the season, though, he would have gotten you 2 first-round picks because he was so highly touted that you could have easily tried to get the teams to bargain against each other, and you could have gotten 2 first-round picks out of it. Maybe they're both protected, but you would have gotten 2 first-round picks out of it. But that being said, you traded Alex Caruso for Josh Giddey now. You couldn't even get 2 seconds out of it. You couldn't get a highly protected first-round pick out of it. That's the part that makes no sense. Like, Josh Giddey's value is low. Okay, I'm aware that he has all this, that people think he has all this potential in the world. I'm aware that people think that he might turn into an all-star one day. But that being said, the best of the best to actually think about it, right? They think, okay, well, his value's low. Then ideally OKC is like, okay, then yeah, we don't really value him that highly, but we really want Caruso. So if you're AK, you use that leverage and say, hey, if you really want Caruso, then you got to add more to this. He didn't. No, I agree. Never trade with OKC. But specifically, if your Arturas Karnic show is never trade with OKC, because you're dumb. You don't know what you're doing. Yeah. So, no matter what, again, if you're rebuilding, the whole point is to accumulate as much young talent as possible. I don't care where you're picking. I don't care if it's in like top 10 pick. I don't care if it's in the last pick of the first round. I don't care if it's the 60th overall pick. Okay, but no matter what, you need to go ahead and get as many young players as possible, and the best way to do that is getting picks. So that's why I'm saying, like, get 2 seconds. Like, 2 seconds would have been very nice. It's not, it's not like amazing, like life changing or franchise changing. It's just that it would be nice, 2 guys just to see if we could just find something good out of. It's most likely going to fail, I'm aware, but hey, like you're saying, throw darts at the board. Just see what happens. No, I agree. I agree with everything you guys are saying. This is the reason why I'm telling people, though, that if you're thinking that this Bulls team is going to be good in like 4 or 5 years, like, I'm like, no, they're not. Like, this is going to be a longer process. I just want to make sure that we do the process right, which we're not going to. I agree. Like, I don't have a player that is like the player of a championship level roster anytime soon. So, hence then, I'm like, let's try to keep the pick this year. Try to see if we can land that guy. Which again, I'm not saying it needs to be. It doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't need to be top 3. Ideally, it is, but it doesn't need to be. Ideally, then you're trading Zach for decent value in return, so that you have more things to use for your rebuild. Hopefully, you're trading Vooch. I don't have faith in that, even if he's playing well. I don't think a team's going to call off for him. And yeah, maybe trade Kobe too. That's fine in my head. But that being said, though, like, I would like to keep the pick this year and see, what that pick turns out to be. I'm aware that in 2025 you have to give up a pick. Like, I'm aware of that. Or you're bad at. Let's say if you like ideally what would be awesome is that you trade Zach this year, you get decent value in return, you keep your pick this year, then you keep the pick again the following year. You're gonna have to give up the pick at some point, but then you got 2 first-round picks back-to-back years in at least the top 10. That's something at least. My issue though, Box, is I don't know where Zach's gonna go. Like we talked about this a lot. I don't really know what team's gonna want him. Like the Warriors trade becomes significantly harder because D'Anthony Melton's now out. And obviously the Warriors are playing well without Zach. Like they don't need Zach to play good right at the moment. Maybe honestly, maybe the D'Anthony Melton thing makes them make a trade, but I doubt it. The Lakers are not going to trade for Zach because Connect is actually amazing. So no reason to trade for Zach there. Houston has Jalen Green. I mean, I would like to send him to Denver, but Denver has very, very, very hard things to work through in terms of financial issues. So Clippers have Norman Powell. Like the options are just thin. Miami Heat are in the first apron. Like, I mean, right now with how the 76ers are, I don't have faith in them at all. Like, here's the thing: the Bucks again. If you're just tuning in again, the Bucks are now ahead of the Bulls. So like, I know a lot of people were questioning, like, well, can the Bucks get ahead of the Bulls? And here we are. The Bucks are ahead of the Bulls. Well, let's say I don't know, but I'm just saying that hey, that's another team that was below the Bulls that are now ahead of the Bulls now. So again, if you're someone like me, that is like trying to keep the pick, well, that's a good sign because now the Bucks are ahead of the Bulls. This is with Zach playing, and with Vooch playing pretty well. I agree though that I think the 76ers might just be doomed. Paul George apparently left the game tonight, so yeah, I don't have any faith in the 76ers whatsoever. Yeah, if you're wondering, Paul George left the game tonight with a leg issue, so just when they get their big three. Yeah. Imagine like even go even without Paul. I mean, yeah, that's like the one team like that some people would think about trading Zach to, but I don't know why. I feel like the Magic would just rather not do it. So yeah. The Lakers take Vooch. I don't think the Lakers would take Vooch, honestly. I don't think JJ Redick would want Vucevic. Because like everyone keeps saying the Warriors and Lakers, and I'm like, I don't know why either team would want him. I really don't get it. I mean, honestly, the one team that I it'd be weird. Like the one team I could honestly see is like the Phoenix Suns because Nurkic has been bad. So like maybe they just like, yeah, you know what? Screw defense. We'll just go ahead and just trade for Vooch instead. And roll with that lineup. He just needs Bucko again. Oh my god, bro. No contact and that happened, bro. Yeah, I oh my god, bro. PG might actually just be washed, and it's not in terms of just bad play. It's like his body's just dead, which is just so sad to see because it's like the fact that PG recovered from that major injury in Team USA is fantastic, but yeah, his time might just be up. Why try not try Academy bring a 34-year-old injury prone fading star next to a 30-year-old injury prone star player? Where's Zach at best? No, I mean, I think Zach would flourish in the Warriors system, but they're not going to trade for him now. No, the 76ers, it's like the 76ers legit cannot trade for Zach unless you're trading Tyrese Maxey. Or unless we're getting Paul George. Shoot for a trade Paul George and pick if they think he's broken given. I mean, I guess that would be it, is that you trade Paul George for Zach LaVine and picks, but I don't even want the 76ers picks, bro. The 76ers picks are like hell. Like they're not, they're just gonna be going to OKC. Vooch get basketball again, Vooch would help this for Golden State. Like, okay, so first and foremost, I just want to make this clear. So Vooch to the Warriors makes no sense because first and foremost, the Warriors already play small. Like they've bought into the small system. Kevon Looney plays a lot of minutes off the bench. Trace Jackson Davis is their starting center now, who's like, I guess not that small, but he's not really big either. They already have their two centers. Like, there's no reason why the Warriors are going to go out and trade for Vucevic when you get significantly worse defensively, which they've been pretty solid defensively this season so far. And there's no reason to go get Vooch and trade assets to get a guy that is just older. And honestly, I don't know how that would really even work out fully with their system. Not to mention, then, I know Vooch has played well and so far in the up-tempo pace in this year, but I don't know if he's going to work next to like that well next to Steph Curry and an even smaller lineup out there. I personally don't think it's worth it. I think the Warriors are fine without Vooch. The Lakers, if I had to choose one team it would make sense for, it would be the Lakers. But I even then I still don't think it makes any sense. The JJ Redick has been very adamant about having Anthony Davis playing a lot of center. So there's no reason for Vucevic to go there and start because Anthony Davis is playing the center position. JJ Redick has made it very clear that Anthony Davis is the center. He is the main focal point of the offense this year. Why would the Lakers trade for Vooch to come off the bench? It just doesn't make any damn sense. So even that being said, though, if you're the Bulls, if you're going to trade Vooch to come off the bench for the Lakers are not going to give you anything. Like, they're like, no, we're not. He's coming off the bench for us. We're not going to give you anything good. So it makes no sense to even do that sort of trade. I understand it's like maybe get the money off, but I don't. It makes no sense, honestly, to trade Vooch to either of those teams, in my opinion. The one team again is like, I think maybe the Suns might want him because Nurkic has been bad. And maybe the Suns are like, you know what, screw defense, let's just go with Vooch. If the Pelicans actually want to make a run this year, which I don't think they're going to, then that would be the other team, but that's not going to happen either. Ben Simmons will work better for GSW system than Vooch. I agree. Yeah, Ben Simmons would basically be Gary Payton II, but just a bigger Gary Payton II. But I guess, no three-point shooting. Yeah. I mean, the Warriors, again, they wouldn't use Vooch a lot, first and foremost, like just like the Lakers. Like, they're not going to use Vooch a lot. Draymond Green plays a lot of center. Gary Payton II has also been playing center for them. Kevon Looney's already having his minutes cut. Like, they just don't play like the traditional center anymore, or that much, I should say. And like what Box is saying, that the defense is very coded around how Draymond kind of operates, and you know, they play up on the pick and roll, like how Box is saying. Yeah, I mean, I agree that Ben Simmons would be pretty solid in that Warrior system. You'd be basically getting like Draymond, like, sort of, but obviously no shooting. Like, Draymond from 3 this year has been pretty solid. Everyone knows AD don't want to play center. I'm aware, Unstoppable, that AD doesn't want to play center, but JJ Redick has said, no, you're playing center. So listen to your coach, and they've been much better because AD's playing center. So I'm just gonna tell you right now, they're not gonna trade for Vooch. Like, it's not gonna happen. Lakers are 10-4. They're on a 6-game winning streak. Like, if the Lakers are trading for a center, it's for a high flying, rim protecting center. It's not gonna be anyone that's gonna be like heavily involved in the offense. It's be someone that's gonna be pretty standard, like prototypical hustle rebounder center. Yeah, so I did say, like, yeah, the Pelicans would be the team also, but I don't think they're gonna make a run. Like, they're 4-12 to start the season against in a very tough Western Conference. Like, why would they even try this year? They might as well just keep their pick. I feel like it's flagged. The poor guys doing with how their number one pick ends. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I need to look at Philly's draft situation, because like I'm not entirely sure that they would keep it. All right, no. So it's 1-6. It's 1-6. Oh, okay. So yeah, I guess they would keep it if it's 1-6. But I mean, still, it doesn't really feel good. Flagged OKC create the doomsday. I'm being real. I am very worried that there's a world where that does happen. I don't exactly remember how it's gonna work out. So, but there's a world where OKC can like get like the first overall pick this year. No, I'm trying to remember what it is. I'm trying to remember. There is a world where OKC can get Cooper Flag. I just don't exactly remember which way it is. Oh, you know what it was? It was the Clippers. Yeah. So, this was it. It was the Clippers. If the Clippers were so bad this year, OKC has the right to swap. That's how it would have happened. So, because a lot of people were thinking like, oh my god, Kawhi's gonna be out. Like, holy crap! If the Clippers are gonna be bad, then OKC has the right to swap. So let's say the Clippers, finish like 15th or whatever in the West, which would be somehow it would be like still 5 teams better than the teams out east, but that would be the way that would be the only way it would work. The Clippers would have to be so bad that they would get the first overall pick, but then OKC would swap, and so that OKC would get Cooper Flag. Can you imagine that, bro? You'd be facing Cooper Flag, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, like, dear Lord. No, I agree, though. I don't think they're going to be that bad. But, I mean, there is still the world where the Clippers are, like, not that bad. They finish in the play-in, and then they miss the playoffs, and then they jump up. Like, they may like just barely make the lottery, and then like the 1% chance that they jump up into being the #1 overall pick. It's possible. Like, it is a very possible way. It's unlikely, right? But it is possible. They also have that really good lottery pick who got injured this year in OKC, so they dropped a few spots. He'll likely turn out strong. Yeah. They also have that really good lottery pick who got injured this year in OKC, so they dropped a few spots. He'll likely turn out strong. Yeah. They also have that really good lottery pick who got injured this year in OKC, so they dropped a few spots. He'll likely turn out strong. Yeah. As watch as Harden is, he somehow can still carry teams to the playoffs. His playmaking is underrated only because of his tendency to chuck every shot available. Well, it's not just Harden this year. Norman Powell has been one hell of a player this year. Like, if there's a way to give most improved to a guy who, like, the guy that, like, you never expected to improve his points per game by a significant margin in how late he is in his career, it would be Norman Powell. Because Norman Powell he's averaged 23.3 points per game this season. Like, that was a significant jump for him. And he's been very good. Like, he's been very good to start the year. I think he's missing tonight's game if they're facing the Magic tonight. But yeah, I mean, this has been like a significant jump. I mean, last year he averaged 14. He's averaged, up there before, like, 19 before, but not through like this whole season. But it was very funny because Powell was like the guy that was talking about how because Paul George is now out, right? The whole talk was like, well, now there's more for more for other guys to eat, right? And so you have obviously Harden, but then Powell has been pretty much kind of replacing Paul George's like production, not 1-to-1, but similar. I know Kawhi isn't there, but that's been a major reason why too. That the Clippers have been like decent. Like Ace over Cooper, I don't blame you. Atlanta last year Bulls 0 situation probably isn't high, but possible for sure. Clippers to be, yeah. Again, it's if you're wondering, like, are the Clippers gonna be in the lottery? Like right now, right? Like if the season ended today, there's a good chance the Clippers are in the lottery, right? They're not going to be very high in the lottery, but like there's a good chance that they are. So it's like for all the people like, no, it's not going to happen. Like there's a decent chance. Like the West is very tough. So like they may be in the play-in, but you could very easily lose in the play-in. Is Harden really shooting that poorly? I didn't even realize if that's the case. Oh wow, yeah, 37%, 31% on 3-point line. Still a free throw line merchant. Not as much as before, but still getting there. No, I agree. Like I don't think it's gonna happen, guys. I'm just saying though that like if you're gonna tell me that the Clippers are gonna be one of the 8 teams to make the playoffs in the West, I'm gonna probably bet that they don't. I'm gonna have more faith that the Dallas Mavericks and the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are right now sitting at 7, right, and the Grizzlies are gonna be making the playoffs over the Clippers. I'm just pointing that out because it's just like I know that the Clippers are going to be the Clippers have no reason to lose this year. Like if you're wondering, like if you're thinking, well, Kawhi's not playing, like no, they have no reason to lose because their pick is swapped. So, no, I think that the Clippers are going to be playing all out this year. But that being said, again, it's like there is that 1% chance where it's like the Clippers don't make the playoffs. They're in the lottery. They have like the 14th best odds, and somehow the Clippers jump up to first, and OKC gets the right to swap. So suddenly, Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey, doesn't matter whoever you choose is going to OKC when they already have Shea and J-Dub with Chet Holmgren. Also, look at the Rockets, the Lakers fall off. I think the Lakers will fall off. The Rockets have been really solid, though, in my opinion. They've been impressing me. The Kings are 500 at the moment, ish, and that's not too surprising for me at the moment. Are there any of the Western Conference teams that could possibly lose their picks this year that could affect the record they decided to tank? I'd have to go through everything. I mean, this page is already very annoying to look at as it is, but I'd have to look. I think it's Utah, right? Yeah, so Utah, their pick is top 10 protected. If it's not in top 10, then it's going to OKC. I think they're fine, though, because they're the worst team out west. So they should be fine. West is wild. And I mean, reminder, the Phoenix Suns were like up here for a little bit, right? And I know it's only 2.5 games, but Durant then got injured for 2 weeks. So it's like that little hiccup, right? That little hiccup, like it sounds like it's not that bad, but you lose Durant for 2 weeks, like you're going from like second to sixth. It sucks. Like there are no days off in the Western Conference right now. Meanwhile, out East, there's only 4 teams above 500. I think for the Spurs, they don't really care. Like, the Spurs, they already got Wemby. They got Stephon Castle. They have some, nice young players. And, I don't know what they think about the Devin Vassell, but he might be a trade candidate. Keldon Johnson's definitely a trade candidate. But I think the Spurs, like, no matter what happens this year, they're fine. They probably know that they're probably not making the playoffs, but they'll be fine kind of just wherever they land. And they'll probably feel pretty good because the Spurs, reminder that the Spurs they have Atlanta's pick this year because of the DeJounte Murray trade. They then can swap with Atlanta then the following year, and then they have Atlanta's pick in 2027. So, like, this is kind of where, like, when you do a rebuild right, it kind of, when you have like these extra picks in hand, like you don't really like freak out of like, well, we need to be bad like 3 years in a row. Like you can just kind of let things kind of take course. And you have the extra picks, right? And then also, by the way, they have ours too. Yeah. Spurs better have a future French team. I don't know about that, but it wouldn't be a bad decision, I guess. The Spurs could sneak into the plan. I think they could sneak into the plan. It'd be, we'll see if it does happen though. Kind of up in the air. I mean, everybody might be if I was Spurs. That's just me. That's just because I'm not very optimistic about his longevity and his size and style of play. Really? I actually think his style of play is gonna make him last a lot longer because he could be. Right now, Wemby could be like constantly taking the ball inside, in the post, pounding against the other guys, and he could easily be taking a lot more contact, but he's shooting a lot more threes at the moment. So I think he's playing for the longevity. I can understand your concern, but right now I wouldn't say I would be thinking about that too much. I mean, nothing has necessarily shown me that we should be that concerned at the moment. I mean, he's had some injuries here and there, but it's not like anything humongous. Or what about joints? I mean, still contact with joints, but I guess I can kind of see what you're saying. But either way, though, I mean, like, I think with Wemby, it'll be interesting to just kind of watch what happens because. I understand now, like he's handling the ball a lot more, but as he gets older, I can kind of see a world where he turns more into like kind of what Brook Lopez does now, where he's more effective and still being more athletic than him, but he just isn't dribbling as much, and he's shooting the 3-ball a lot more, but still being that damn good rim protector that's still very effective. So like Brook Lopez is a giant tower, but he's much bigger and much slower. But he's still very effective today. He's not an all-star by any means, but with Wemby, I can just kind of see where he maybe goes more towards like being like a more of a spot-up shooter, pick and roll type dude that is going to average very easily still 20 plus a night. and just be like that serious defensive anchor. Because even without his like best athleticism, he's just still going to be an incredible defensive anchor. But we'll see. So like Porzingis, yeah, I guess more so like Porzingis then. But he was just more athletic. I understand the concern because of all the stats, but I mean, like, we've seen some serious, like, we've seen some like aliens come into this league, and I'm just like, Giannis is over 7 foot, bro. Like, I don't think that dude's slowing down anytime soon. I understand that he's a freak, but that's kind of where I'm just like, I put Giannis in the same kind of category, or Wemby in the same kind of category. Like, I just think he's a freak. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but here we are. I mean, Rudy Gobert, I will say, like, Gobert, for a dude that's like 7'2", he's lasted a long time, right? And he doesn't really have an offensive game. So, I don't know. I just have more faith in modern medicine now. Yeah, I also hope nobody rolls over his leg. But I guess I just have more faith in big guys that even if they have like a serious leg injury, like they'll recover from it. If they ever come back, they'll be better. Like they'll have a better time than like a smaller guard. If like let's say they have a serious leg injury, but will their career be cut shorter? Maybe. Like that would be my bigger concern. So I understand that concern for sure. But still, like nothing has really shown me so far where it's like we need to be like really, really bad. Or like we need to be like really like freaking out and panicking about like, oh, like Wemby's having like a major ACL tear or something like that. I'm aware of that stuff. Yeah. Like that to me though, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's gonna happen. Like, so I'm waiting for like a serious like, okay, MCL tear, ACL tear, I don't know, torn like torn quad or whatever or something like that. Stress fracture is in fibula is pretty significant. But I guess I'm just not as worried about that. I'm more worried about like the muscle stuff. Who do you want to come out of the West at the moment? I expect just one. I am torn between Golden State for his dynasty. The last bit longer because just how well they challenge the Celtics. If I had to choose who I want to come out of the West, and not who I expect, I mean, people are gonna hate me. I mean, like, I wouldn't mind Golden State. Like, I know a lot of people hate Golden State, but I have some like connections to Golden State, I guess, via my family. So I would like Golden State. I'm just trying to really think over, like, would it be fun if Houston got out of the West? I don't know if I'd be that thrilled if Houston made it out of the West. It'd be interesting. I just wouldn't have any faith against them for the Celtics. Not that I don't have much faith against the Celtics if the Warriors come out of the West either, but much as I love Ja, I'm not really feeling Memphis either. I wouldn't necessarily mind seeing Phoenix come out of the West. I just don't have any faith in them at the moment. Like, the Phoenix has the issue still where I think that they play like how the Bulls have been playing the past couple of years, where it's not constantly, but it happens a little too often, where I feel like they just don't shoot enough threes. So I mean, they shot enough threes tonight, obviously, but I'm just kind of like, that's one of those teams I'm like kind of like keeping track of, because I don't know how their offense is going to be all year. This year they've been better, they're shooting 43s a game, but last year, if you're wondering though, like with Phoenix, it was it was a significant decline in 3-point attempts when they kind of put that team together with Durant. So I'm just like keeping track of them. They're shooting more threes this year, obviously, but don't know how long that will last. Defensively, obviously, they have some issues. So I wouldn't mind it. I really wouldn't mind if Phoenix came out of the West. But honestly, though, like as much as it'd be cool to see the Warriors come out of the West and do another challenge, I think I really want to see OKC come out. Like I think that would just be an awesome finals matchup against either if it is Boston or Cleveland. Like I think it'd just be an awesome. It would just be one hell of a series just to see it. OKC is just really fun. I don't really care for LeBron coming out of the West anymore. Denver, I just think they're just dead. Which honestly, I shouldn't say that. They still have Jokic, but I just don't have any faith in them. Minnesota just to me just doesn't have the pieces this year. At least from what I'm seeing early, but that could change. Maybe they'll trade Randall for something else, but I feel like they need to get they need to get more shooting or just more defense for them. And I'm not gonna say the Clippers and Sacramento are not coming out of the West. Neither San Antonio if you have any faith in them. So if Dallas can figure their crap out, that'd be cool. But I wouldn't pick them over OKC in terms of what I want to see in the finals. I would like to see OKC in the finals over Dallas. Remember watching a documentary about Andre the Giant, how hard it was for him? But of course, that was 50 years ago. Sometimes it's different. It's big bed, but hotels and road have special beds. Hearing Aiden had issues with his bed when moving to Port or something. Oh my god, really? There's not money he can afford to buy, build in order best in general. Those are supposed to be a team to watch. Best from North hate some of them all with how they play. Happy slash respectable. I mean, yeah. I just think OKC, like, I think Shea is just like he's just so awesome, and I hope that he gets the respect that he deserves. You know. 30 mil a year at Port Inc. can afford a Porter custom. They're not flying commercial like you and me. Oh no, these guys are definitely not flying commercial, and they're also not being flown by the Bulls, right? The Bulls have one of the oldest planes ever, apparently. But yeah, they're fine. Never let all the key bench players go. I agree, but also like Murray has looked better recently. Like, but yeah, like I don't have faith. Murray had like a pretty solid game against Memphis here. Like this looks more like the Jamal Murray that we know. But I don't have faith in him, honestly. I just don't for some reason. I want to, but I don't. Yeah. I don't have faith in Murray. I don't really have much faith in Michael Porter Jr. either to like suddenly become like the second star. And Aaron Gordon's out for forever, so. Okay. Oh, okay. You know what? If I get copyrighted for this, I don't care. I'll cut it out of the stream. So because the game is on ESPN tonight, I just recorded on YouTube TV. I was gonna use YouTube TV, but I forgot to turn off a setting before I started stream, and I don't want to restart my stream. So we're not gonna be able to do that. I just want to show you a few things really quickly, just to hate on Donovan one more time before I head off for the night. I just want to say thank you guys for all checking in on the stream tonight. If you have not already, please hit the like button. Helps me out a lot. Appreciate y'all being here. It's been a lot of fun all season long, so thank you guys so much for helping out tonight. Helping me out tonight, just having fun with me tonight. I want to show you a few things first, and then we'll head off for the night here. Want to hate on Donovan one more time, and then I can rest peacefully. What did I say, Box? Hold on. Yeah, no, I just want to because he's bigger than you. Oh, I'm sure Wemby has all the adjustments that he needs. Honestly, I mean, because like I understand he's 7'4" and like we haven't seen anything like him, but we've seen many 7-footers in the league. So I'm sure that the buses are the airplanes and all the charters are they're fine. Like, they'll be fine. No one's smart. Ike leaving never wasn't the problem. Tim Connolly leaving was. Oh, I agree. Yeah. Oh, 1,000,000%. Yes. We also got the wrong person from the front office. Yep. Yes, we did. Yep. Tim Connolly clearly was the better front office person. Yeah. If you're not aware, someone made like a chart or whatever. It was like showing like the planes that each team rides. And the Bulls plane is like from. I don't know. I think it's from the 80s or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to double check it, but I don't know how long. No, it's probably from like the 90s or something. But it is by far the oldest plane of all 30 NBA teams. It's ridiculously bad. Very clearly not upgraded as much, but it's just that's how Reinsdorf works, you know. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna have to use ME.com and some of their stuff. It's not perfect, but we're gonna use it. So just to really quickly just show you the defensive thing that I was pissed off about throughout the entire game. Let's see here. This is gonna be that's a fast break attempt. Okay, so let's watch this. I personally think that the Bulls needed to go ahead and figure out some quick adjustments for the Giannis pick and roll when he was a screener. Okay. So I'm not. Also, by the way, I'm not here. Maybe I can do this. Oh, hold on. Okay, we can do that. I'm not gonna do full screen because the NBA likes to copyright. But basically, let's just watch this Giannis pick and roll. With him being the screener, right? Giannis in the pick and roll this entire game is giving the Bulls some serious problems. And Donovan should know better because he's faced Giannis many times. Being the coach of the Bulls, like he should know better. And also knowing that you don't have P. Will tonight, but this pick and roll here, this right here is not going to work against the Bucks. So the idea is that Craig drops, Zach gets over the screen, fights over the screen. Giannis then is he's just setting the screen, right? And he's just gonna roll hard. Okay. So this right here for the Bulls was giving them so many issues. Hence what happens here. Okay. It seems like that the Bulls were like, okay, we're gonna let Giannis be the screen roller, and then the help defense has to come from the weak side and cover up for the mistake. Or it cover up for Giannis if he attacks the lane. In my opinion, that's not what you need to do. Giannis, because he is not like a traditional big man, he is too fast, he's too athletic, he's too powerful, and he is one of the best finishers in the paint in the league in history. He is not this sort of defense is not going to work. I don't care if like you have 3 guys coming over on the help defense, it's just not going to work. You're getting Giannis a line drive to the basket, and he's just going to take it every single time. I don't care if you have Rudy Gobert down there, you're just going to be late. He's too good once he gets a step into the paint. So I was just freaking out about this just because this is not what I wanted to see from the Bulls defense. I was upset because I'm just like, this can't continue. Because why did Donovan think this was going to work? And so the Bulls then sort of made us like a change. So I'll show you one time that they did it, where so you don't see the full. You're not. This is the reason why I wanted the full recording. But basically, though, what happened out in this play is that it was basically a Lillard and Giannis pick and roll. But Zach was initially guarding Lillard, and so he just switched on Giannis, which is what I think is the correct thing to do. Instead of letting the Giannis pick and roll happen, you play drop coverage, Giannis rolls hard to the basket, and he gets the easy shot in the paint, and you're relying on help defense to come over and help. I would just switch it. And so, yes, you would then have like a Zach LaVine or a Kobe White on Giannis, but then what I would do is I would just basically force the others to beat me. I'm double teaming Giannis then. I'm making sure that he doesn't get a step into the paint, and I'm just gonna switch it, and then whenever he starts to make a move, whether it's before he dribbles or when he does dribble, I'm double teaming. Hence, what you're gonna see here from Craig, right? He comes on over, shades, and Giannis throws it back out to Lillard. This is a good play, open shot for Lillard. He just missed it, but I'd rather have this than a Giannis line drive to the basket, right? You can go through the plays of kind of how they did it, but I'm going to show you then a play where I was pretty upset because this is a play where Zach picked up a foul, but in my opinion, I don't think this was his fault. So, just really quick. Sorry, I full screen. Okay, I'm going to be pissed at the NBA copyrights me, but back it up here. So, you see here, here's the screen and roll. The Bulls switch it. So, this is exactly what I wanted to see. I think this is the correct decision. And so now Zach has Giannis, which is fine. But in my opinion right now, because of where the ball is currently and where Giannis is trying to post up, I would just double team this immediately. I wouldn't even wait. If I'm the Bulls, I'm sending Craig over immediately, and then I'm rotating hard. The only issue with doing this is that Vooch is involved within the rotation potentially, and you just don't want that, right? So what the Bulls would have to do is that it's either you send Craig over early or you're sending Kobe over early. And then Giddey would have to be the initial guy to either pick up Lillard or pick up Taurean Prince quickly. Or whoever this is cutting. I think this is Andre Jackson Jr. I'm not entirely sure. Whoever's cutting it in the middle of the lane. So it's just like where the ball would go. But you see here, they basically just let Zach go on an island. And they just try to guard him. And you see now Giddey's trying to shade over. But I don't know if this is just bad execution by the Bulls players or if this was Donovan's plan, which was that let whoever the switches just go one-on-one against Giannis, and have the help defense come over and recover. That just doesn't make any sense. I would just rather have him just either come over and double him immediately, get the ball out of his hands, and I'm forcing others to beat me. But the Bulls didn't do that. They just I was happy to see the switch, but the Bulls then failed to do the next level, which is double team him quickly. So just interesting overall decisions by Donovan today, and I'm just upset about it. But it is what it is. We have a Boeing 727. Those from the 60s. 74 was the last 727 that was built. They stopped production of that plane in 84. Damn, that plane is old. Oh, okay, so it is from the 80s actually, or maybe it is from the 60s. Who knows, honestly. Yeah, the Bulls are stupid. The fact that we have an old plane as our main plane is just stupid. I mean, some of the planes we don't want to go down unless it's one of the older ones that have really good track record. I never remount inside either. Yeah, I don't think it has been. It's really bad of a game. Certain people historically keeps Giannis at 20 points a game. I guess so. Any inflation, the 727 cost us approximately 12 million. The Clippers got G650 is on the 40 million price range. Jesus. Well, I do think that P-Will does a decent job, but no one can stop Giannis, right? No one is ever going to stop him. But the biggest reason why the Bulls missed P-Will tonight is just have another body, right? Just have another guy to throw at Giannis. Whether he did a good job or not, it's just having another guy that can just go at him and expend energy, He would have done a decent job on Giannis. He would have felt there. I mean, bro, this is the reason why, man. Steve Ballmer may be weird to some people. I understand if you're not a fan of Steve Ballmer, but I sincerely appreciate everything that he has done, for the Clippers. I understand the Clippers are they're the laughing stock of LA, but everything he's done for them, it's just so cool to see an owner do that. He's so heavily invested, a whole new, stadium built for them, but it was from his own pockets, right? Like the town didn't, like the city didn't have to pay for it via taxes. Like he buys all like the new and improved stuff, like the updated technology. If you're sitting in the stands, you get a phone charger. If you sit in the Clippers stands against the wall, like that's awesome. Like, why can't we have that, please? Can you imagine if you go to a Bulls game and you have a phone charger like right there? Like, wouldn't that be awesome? The owner wanted to spend his own money to actually improve the environment around the team and for the fans. Like, I think the Clippers' new stadium looks amazing, or arena looks amazing. Like, it's not, you know, what's cost for into a dome? I think it was $2 billion. Yeah, it was $2 billion. Most expensive NBA stadium ever constructed. Like, that's awesome. Cell phone chargers at every seat. Cell phone chargers are at every seat in the arena, guys. Like, isn't that just awesome? Why can't we have that? Yeah, like I mean, granted, so Ballmer is in a lucky spot knowing that he's in LA, and even if they're the second team in LA, he's gonna make the money back. Like, I understand he's in that sort of position, but still though, like, I mean, that it's just awesome to see an owner go out and be willing to do this. Like, that if you're wondering, like, I mean, so like the way that you make the money back is so Intuit like paid $500 million just to get the naming rights. Like, that's how you make money back, right? So yeah, like, it's honestly just awesome just to see an owner go out and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go pay for this myself and make sure that the fan experience is awesome. Now, I'm sure that the food is hella expensive. It's LA at the end of the day, but still though, like, you're talking about a stadium being built that did not cost any tax dollars. Like, yeah, we don't have cup holders. Yeah, but I'm sure that all the other owners are looking at him like, what the hell? Like, why did you do this? Like, how dare you do such a thing? Like, no one wants. No, the other owners like, why did you, like, how dare you use your own money? Like, that's what they're all thinking. I mean, like, this whole Jumbotron thing, which I don't even know if you could call it a Jumbotron. Like, I think a lot of people are like, what the hell is this? But I think this is honestly, like, really cool. Like, I know it's not like your typical, like, Jumbotron, but, like, it honestly, it looks really, really good. No, I'm not a White Sox fan. I'm a White Sox fan, Rob. So, yeah. Yeah, I honestly think he did. Sorry. I really think he did amazing, though. Sorry. I just hope that, like, he becomes this, like, becomes the standard, you know? He won't, like, you know, there are too many other owners that are just bad. But, like, more Steve Ballmer type owners coming into the NBA would just be fantastic. Just, you know, a guy that is all about the fans. He's gonna make sure that they have the best experience possible. I didn't even know how. No, bro. Like, I'm telling you, like people just look at the arena itself, like the floor, how it looks, the wall. No, this arena has like everything. Like it's insane how awesome it just looks. But yeah, again, like I know Box is making fun of like the whole charge or whatever. You see, like Jerry would basically charge $1 a minute. Like that sounds like Jerry. But yeah, like they have all these things. Like they have all sorts of stuff here inside the arena. It looks awesome. Yeah, like they're just, they have faster security. Like it's just, everything about it is just better. Like if I was a player in the NBA, like I would want to go play here. If I was a fan of the NBA, I'd absolutely want to go and just go to this arena and just check it out. No, I agree. I agree, Viper Strike. Like, yeah, I understand that like no one's gonna be able to spend like $2 billion like on an arena. Like that would be a lot of their own money. But instead of them being like all like this extremely cheap acting, right? Like let's try, if you're gonna ask for tax dollars for improvements or upgrades of a facility, then let's actually try to make sure that it's like actively good. Like it's actually actively gonna make the fans have a better experience. I still hate the fact that you're even asking for tax dollars. I think it's stupid. You're at the end of the day, you're a billionaire. But like I would just want the standard to be like, hey, let's actually try to make things better for fans and for the players. Like that should be the standard. This is like way up there. I would hope that if some of like the multi-billionaires actually come into the NBA, like that they'd be willing to do stuff like this, where they're willing to drop $2 billion on something like a new stadium. But like I just want to make sure that like owners have that sort of standard. Like maybe you don't have $2 billion just to drop in a stadium, but like you have the standard. Like let's make things better. Yeah, like Mark Cuban. People don't talk about Mark Cuban a lot, but like, well, I guess more people do actually talk about Mark Cuban. But with Mark Cuban though, like Mark Cuban would buy gifts for the players. Like he buys like expensive stuff for the players, saying like, thank you for coming in and playing for this roster, like for playing for the team. Like, it means a lot. Like he's no longer majority owner, but that was the culture kind of set there in Dallas. Like that was kind of how it worked. Like that just shows, again, it's an owner who cares. Yeah, Cuban did sell majority stake, but he still has control. Like I don't know how the hell he did that, by the way, but somehow he sold majority stake, but so he's a minority owner, but he still has control over the team. Which I'm like, how the hell did that work out? But yeah, that's how it worked out apparently. There's Miriam Adelson. She's the second richest owner right now in the league. Oh wow, cool. Did not know that. Non-basketball owners. I mean, yeah, makes sense. I don't think you're bad angles on drone. I don't think so either. I think you can actually sit anywhere in that arena and you're looking at a very awesome view of the screens. Like, doesn't matter where you're sitting. Yeah, so like Mark Cuban, like, yeah, if y'all are wondering, Mark Cuban, he's no longer majority owner of the Mavs, but he's still going to like a bunch of the games. He's still there with the team all the time. Like he's just actively involved still. He talked about the reason why he did it is just because like his kids are now older. Like, and he didn't want to like, I guess like put like some sort of like the pressure on them or whatever. I don't exactly know what his wording was, but he's no longer majority owner. But like again though, he somehow is now minority owner, but like he still is like a major part of like the decisions made with the team. So I don't know how he did that. Like I don't know how the hell he's like, yeah, so I'm gonna sell this to you, but I still have control. Like he's just easily just like, yep, that's how it works. Well, interesting, Rich. His net worth is like 150 billion. Oh, I'm very much aware Ballmer's like his insanely rich pockets. But yeah. No, though, I mean, again, I'm just saying, like, these guys, like, I'm aware that Jerry is not like the most richest person in the world, but still, $1 million to Jerry Reinsdorf to just do, upgrades over things. It wouldn't hurt. Like, it's not gonna hurt his pockets. I mean, I guess for him, he thinks it's like a humongous dent, but it wouldn't hurt his pockets. That's the reason why when, like, Jerry's trying to get a new baseball stadium in Chicago for the White Sox, I'm just like, bro, just pay it yourself. Like, we don't care. Forrest Lakers and Genie are poor even compared to Jerry. 200 to 500 million net worth to Jerry's 2.0. Oh, wow, I didn't actually know that. Wow. Prices will be going. I understand that price of construction is going up. So, though, just pay for it yourself. Like, we're not going to pay for it. And, oh, by the way, like, I don't think Guarantee Rate Field is amazing, but it's not like we need a new baseball field. Like, we're fine. The White Sox will be fine. But that's where I just, yeah, then Chicago Sports Network is just garbage. But that's just where I get frustrated. I'm just like, we don't need to pay tax dollars for this. You're a billionaire. Figure it out. Like, sure, maybe you're not like the most richest person in the world, but you're a billionaire, so figure it out. Like, we don't need our money. You can do this yourself. So if you really want to figure out return of investment and everything, then go do it. But we're not gonna give you $1 billion in tax dollars to help fund a stadium. That's not gonna happen. I don't exactly know what the Clippers local broadcast network is currently, but I'm gonna guess it's not Chicago Sports Network. Like, there's owners 200 million, Hornets are 400, Genie's 500. Oh wow, okay. I did not know that Genie's only 500 million. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Joe Lacob is on Jerry Reinsdorf level. Yeah, and look at how much they're spending. What? I don't know the Boston Celtics full ownership group, but what do you know, Box? What their net worth is? I said Boston Celtics. I mean, this is what I get. So, like, is he really only worth about a net worth of a billion? Excuse me. Wow. Okay. So that's crazy though. So this guy, if he sold the Celtics today, it'd be about like 5 billion. That's how much he could get if he just sold the Celtics today. Like, that's insane. He bought the team for 360 million in 2002, and so it'd be worth 5 billion now. Yeah, so the only reason why I bring up the Celtics is just because they're heavily spending into luxury tax, right? Yeah. So I mean, look, their tax bill just for this season is going to be $65 million. The following season, if no changes are made, because the repeater tax is going to kick in, Maybe at 219. We'll see if that actually happens. I'm gonna doubt it does. But that's the reason why I'm like, hey, so like, you know, ownership, like, so this guy has less net worth than Jerry Reinsdorf, yet he's gonna be willing to pay $65 million in luxury tax bills to the league office this year for a chance to win the championship. Jerry Reinsdorf, on the other hand, will never touch the luxury tax ever. So last year, the Boston Celtics paid about $43 million in luxury tax bills to the league office. And again, his net worth is $1 billion. Jerry Reinsdorf is 2.2. Like, just difference in spending. Willingness to spend, you know? Reinsdorf sucks. Four and Four's Bulls are valued as number 6 team under the Celtics, Clippers, Lakers, Warriors, and Knicks. That would make sense. Yeah. I mean, let's see. So you got the largest market, second largest market, and then the team who just won the championship, and then a dynasty team. So yeah, even us being garbage, we're only behind those teams, those 5 teams. All right, y'all. It's been fun hanging out with you tonight. Appreciate y'all being in here. So one more time, if you have not already hit the like button, please do. Helps me out a lot. All right, really quickly, the plan for upcoming streams. Okay. So the Bulls play on Friday against Atlanta. Okay. So the Bulls will be facing Atlanta at home. The plan for now is that I'm not gonna be streaming after this game. Excuse me. I know that it's, you know, Friday night, and a lot of people are, you know, it's like Friday night with who? It's not Friday night for me. I'll just say that. So unfortunately, it's not Friday night for me. So I'm not gonna be able to. I personally would not like to stream on Friday just due to how my schedule is working out. Saturday, the Bulls also play again, so it's a back-to-back. Bulls will be playing on Saturday against the Grizzlies at home. So the plan is I will be streaming Saturday night. It won't be for very long probably, but it will be for at least a little bit, okay? So that is kind of the upcoming weekend in terms of stream scheduling. It's not gonna be a lot of streams. It could change. If it does change, you'll see the change. I might stream Friday. We'll see. Maybe I'll take Saturday off. It just kind of matters how things kind of work out for me. So I do apologize, but that's gonna be the plan for now. So there's that, and then after that, so the Bulls play on Saturday. Then they don't play again until Tuesday. So the Bulls will be playing against the Wizards. So expect kind of back to normal scheduling on Tuesday of next week, in terms of just normal stream hours and stuff like that. So yep. Say least Jerry is just incompetent. That's about it. Yep, pretty much. Yeah. He basically struck gold, like you said, Box. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for coming into the stream tonight. Appreciate y'all a ton. Thank you for checking out the stream, even on a Bulls loss. It means a lot. Thank you to my community. You guys have been awesome. And we'll just keep going. It's been a lot of fun with you guys. I do have some streams planned for that don't involve Bulls post game, so be on the lookout for those. I don't know when it will happen, but just be on the lookout for them. So yeah, I'll see y'all either Friday or Saturday. All right, be safe. Peace out.